Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sports Breakdown once again. So today, as we know, it's the Big Bash League final. It's a huge final because, as we know, the Big Bash League is one of the most famous. Going around franchise leagues going on in the world. So a lot of people do follow the Big Bash League. So today it's the Perth Scorchers versus the Brisbane Heat. We have Jack from the WW podcast joining us once again after a very long time. I'm very unfortunate that I couldn't bring him along for certain videos, but we brought him back. And we got Kunal also alongside us to cover the Big Bash League final between Perth Scorchers and Brisbane Heat. So, Jack, coming to you first of all. Let's talk about Brisbane Heat first. I know Perth Scorchers has been the team that has obviously was expected to come the finals this time around. But Brisbane Heat, especially Jack, the way that they turned around, they were last, if I'm not mistaken, where it was 7 to 8 games, all the teams played, and suddenly they found their form. And with the additions of Kuaja and Labushang and the other players who came from the test tour and came back to this team and obviously brought them to the knockouts at least. And I think in the challenge, I think again they lost those players, but somehow they beat the Sydney Sixers and they managed to go to the finals. So Jack, your thoughts on the Brisbane Heat, the recovery of this, Brisbane Heat, first of all?
Yeah, they started pretty ordinary, and then they had a bit of luck along the way, which you need in T20 tournaments, and they just were able to win key games when they did, and to find themselves in the final tonight is a great effort from where they started this season. Uh, so yeah, with the inclusions you mentioned, Renshaw, Labuschagne, Kawaja certainly helped their cause towards the end, especially in the first two finals they played to get them to this position. They're going to be tested tonight, no doubt about that. But they got confidence, and when you get confidence and momentum in any tournament, you're very hard to beat. So they're a good chance to win tonight. Obviously, the Scorchers would be favourites. They always play well here in Perth. But for Brisbane, if they can get off to a good start with the bat and bowl well, then they're a chance. But they've had an up and down season. But I think Brisbane Heat fans will be very happy that the team finally made it to a BBL final after years of disappointment, really.
Very true. Kunal, what about you? Your thoughts also on Brisbane Heat, the way that they recovered? Especially being last, eighth, I think, when it was 7 games apiece, all of these teams, and suddenly recovering and coming to that fifth place for those playoffs, and then beating Thunder, if I'm not mistaken, the eliminator, then beating Renegades in the challenge, qualifier 2, and then Challenger, they beat the Sixers because Sixers were a very strong team, and a lot of people were thinking it was again another Scorchers versus Sixers final, but Brisbane Heat managed to win. So your thoughts throughout of how Brisbane Heat has performed somehow in this BBL?
Actually, Brisbane is a very excellent performance. When you are beating such a big team like Sydney Sixers and coming from fifth to final, it is a very big thing for Brisbane Heats. And I think few key players for Brisbane Heats are you can say Nazar, you can say Beasley. These two players are very good all rounders for the team. They contributed. Beasley taking wickets in regular intervals, and especially the new inclusion of opener Brown. Brown, I am really impressed with the batting. On the first match, when I see the Brown, he hitting 60 runs of within only 20 to 25 balls. So I am fan of that player after that. So what a
Yes.
player he is. So and I am also expecting some good opening from Sam Hislett also. Good record in BBL in previous season, but Sam Hislett doesn't get more opportunities. So might be Sam Hislett will facing some difficulty while facing a Perth Scorchers because Perth Scorcher record in Perth is very good.
Yeah, very
You
true.
can
And
neglect them.
hmm,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. And coming back to Jack, who's going to be the key player for Brisbane Heat? Especially I think I was very impressed with how both Hazlitt and Brown have been doing as a opening pair, and Max Sweeney has been doing really, really well. I was really impressed with how he anchors the innings and goes along, did the job before Labuschagne came, and again has to do the job again since the key players of Brisbane Heat have to go again for the test tour. But who is the key player, if possible, who can challenge the Perth Scorchers tonight and somehow do a brilliant job for the Brisbane Heat today?
Well, that's a tough question. If you have to pick one, you probably have to pick Michael Nessa, because he's had some really good games in the last few games for the Brisbane Heat. So he'll definitely be one that's going to be important with the ball. And if they're in a bit of trouble with the bat, he can, come in and score some runs, as we saw in the last game on a very difficult surface in Sydney. He pretty much finished off the game in the run chase with his innings, being aggressive, and scored 41 in quick time. So I think he'll be the important player for the Heat tonight, I think. More so with the bowling, but, if he gets an opportunity with the bat, he can definitely score some runs.
Yeah. So we have Aryan joining us over here. Aryan, your thoughts on the Brisbane Heat, especially, I mean, the recovery that they had from 8th to possibly 5th, and then beating all those teams in the playoffs and coming to the final somehow. Your thoughts on the Heat so far in this BBL, and do you think they can challenge the Scorchers today at Perth?
I mean, it's the final, so anything can happen. Pressure can make you do funny things, right? So yeah. I think Spencer Johnson was a major change. He bowled really well throughout the tournament, and then their bowling really stepped up. And if you look at this team, Neser can bat, so they have a very good deep batting lineup with them. Josh Brown, he really impressed. Mick Sweeney, so they have plenty of bowling options, plenty of depth, in their batting lineup, which helped them, reach the finals. So, and with Khawaja also, we can't forget the way he played those 2 innings. He made a really good impact in the knockouts. So yeah, been a good thing. But I still fancy the Scorchers any day. Any day you'll fancy the Scorchers, and you're wearing orange, Pavan, so you're supporting them clearly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's been a Scorchers fan. Yeah, and I think the match is about to start. Yeah, but one quick word about the Scorchers. First of all, Jack, your thoughts? I mean, especially them losing Middlemarsh. They lost a lot of key players before the tournament started, and the way that Ashton Turner has led this side, and he's been doing that even in previous seasons. So your thoughts, Jack, on how Perth Scorchers has handled without the services of Middlemarsh? They didn't have Cameron Green as well, and players like Aaron Hardy stepping up for the Scorchers. Even Andrew Tye being around 35, 36, playing really well still around.
Yeah, they're just a well-drilled team. Everyone knows their role with bat and ball, and they do that role. And you can see that when they're in action. They don't rely on 1 or 2 players. It's a team effort, and that's important in cricket. Yes, 1 or 2 individuals will make a difference, but it's all about the team pulling together and contributing to your performance. And they just get on with it, and they just, despite the setbacks that they have, they find ways to overcome them. They've been a very good team for years. They've won, half of the BBL titles in the history of the BBL. So I'm not surprised by how they performed, and it's a testament to their team, and that's why they're in this game tonight, the final. So yeah, they're going to be hard to beat, but they're a good team.
Yeah. Kunal, one quick word, I think, before it starts. Thoughts, I mean, of Perth Scorchers. I mean, especially them losing Faf du Plessis as well in the middle, and then Stephen Ekinasi stepping up. So your thoughts overall of the Perth Scorchers team and the combination, just quickly before it starts?
Actually, excellent performance. The player they have performed when they change the bowler, their bowler gives a lot of wickets, especially in power play and power serves. If if in power play and power serves you take main wickets, then opponent
Sorry,
not be
sorry to
able to
interrupt
make
you.
a runs. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it just started, I think, the finals over here. Beautiful ball over there from Berendorf. They've started with Berendorf. I think, Jack, I think Jai Richardson is not playing today, I think, due to injury. Do you think that's a sort of a loss for Perth Scorchers, or do you think with Berendorf and Thai, they can still challenge the Brisbane Heat openers?
Yeah, he can bowl quick, Jai, and he would have been useful on this surface in Perth because it's always quick and bouncy. But with Berendorf and Thai and the rest of the bowlers they've got, I think they'll get the job done.
And I think that's the first boundary over there for the Brisbane Heat. So 4 runs of a nick from Brown. So good bowling over there from Berendorf, but unfortunately that goes to the boundary, and the fielder just couldn't stop the delivery, and no one was there like to catch that delivery, and that goes sailing past the boundary. So good start, good length bowl from Berendorf, but unfortunate over there.
Aggressive
So
batsman, Brown.
and again it's Nick, and I think again it's going for the boundary. I think Brown is just been lucky over here. Jack, your analysis of the 2 boundaries so far from Brown, it's just been lucky so far from Brown.
Yes, you need a bit of luck, and those outside edges will definitely boost his confidence. Not convincing, but he'll take the runs nonetheless. 2 boundaries to begin his innings. Hopefully he can capitalise in this 4 overs of the power play and hopefully get the Brisbane Heat off to a good start in the final.
Okay, minimum score, how much you are expecting, at least, for final?
Brown.
No, not Brown. For Heats, yes.
Okay, he's at I think maybe around 25, I think, today. 25.
No, I told you Brisbane Heats score for Perth Scorchers. How much target?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Think around 160, 165, I think, today.
That's it. 160. If Perth Scorchers restrict them before 150.
Again, another boundary for Brown. So 3 boundaries in this over. Very expensive over here so far from I mean, he's been unlucky, Berendorf. I mean, he's bowling good lengths. This shot, I think, from again, it's been unlucky. Again, if there was a slip, perhaps extra slip, there could have been caught a second slip over there, but just been unfortunate again from Berendorf. 3 boundaries of this over.
Brown
Jack,
is
what do
very
you think?
aggressive. Told you already.
Jack, what do you think they can do? I mean, the Scorchers to stop the runs. I mean, he's just been unlucky over here. Perhaps in the next over, perhaps for the Scorchers.
Yeah, I just think for them, just keep it simple. Look to stick to your plans, and I think they will do that, the Scorchers, because they're a very well-drilled bowling side. But it's encouraging from Berendorf. He has found the outside edge, so that's a good sign for him. For Brown, he, just trying to get used to the bounce and pace of this surface. You can see he's trapped on the crease a little bit there, so just getting surprised by that bounce. So it wasn't a bad over. It just happens. You get those outside edges that go before, but you got to stick bowling to your plans and just stick at it, and wickets will come. But they're a good bowling side, and they'll find some ways to get wickets. That's for sure.
Very true. So Brisbane Heat 12 for 0, loss of 0 after 1 over. Sorry, 13 for 0 after 1 over. Good flick shot over there from Brown, but there's a field over there, and they come for 2. So Liam Payne is bowling this over from England. Yeah. So far, good start, I would say. I know Brown has been unlucky, but I think that luck is also needed to get over the runs. Jack, what do you think would be a decent score on this pitch, especially in Perth? What would be the pass score, maybe the score that Brisbane Heat would be looking for?
Well, anything over 150 plus, I think, minimum. I think probably touching 160, 170, I think. That's a pretty good score in Perth. Runs on the board are going to be important in the final. If you can get a good score on the board, then it doesn't matter if you're the Perth Scorchers or any team. You're going to be under pressure. So around about 160, I think, 170, I think they'll be aiming for.
A beautiful shot over there from Brown, and that goes for a 6. So the first 6, a straight drive over there from Brown, and that goes for a 6. So this is a really good start from the Brisbane Heat. Brown really looks set, I would feel, right now. Gives those explosive start. It usually is Heaslet who does that, but Brown also is trying to be aggressive over here, and that's good for the Brisbane Heat right now, being the away team also. And that's a beautiful delivery over there from Liam Payne. A good comeback. So far, I think it's been interesting. I think Brisbane Heat taking the advantage over here. Kunal, your thoughts of Brown's innings so far?
Already told you, very aggressive batsman. If it goes on for runs, they will give you so many runs. Might be 60 plus individually.
Very true. Yes, I agree with you. Already 21 for 0 after 1.4 overs. And again, Brown playing a brilliant shot over there. Straight drive shot, 4 runs. Jack, your thoughts of Brown's innings so far? 6 and a 4, both straight drive shots. Your thoughts, especially of Brown's batting, and especially what Perth Scorchers can do to prevent those boundaries from happening right now.
Yes, it's been good. He's taken the game on. He's been positive, and you need to be that in the power play. I think the Scorchers maybe try some short balls a bit.
And a wicket
as we
fall,
speak
as
of
you
that,
say.
he gets out. So
going too aggressive, and that's important wicket. I think that's a huge wicket over there, and the Scorchers strikes, and unfortunately Brown has to go after scoring 25. Huge wicket over here from the Perth Scorchers. Kunal, your thoughts? This is a huge wicket, I would feel, after Brown scoring a 6 and a 4 and trying to go over that mid wicket range also for a boundary, but unfortunately got out.
Yeah, actually, he's a that type of batsman. He just goes on for boundaries. But now it is a very good sign for Perth Scorchers that they got the wickets. Sometimes it happens when one brings two. It might be possible they will get wickets in regular intervals. Might be.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So unfortunately, Brown gets out, but he's been unlucky. I think most of his shots were unlucky, but especially the Payne over, he was playing really well. The shots that he was playing, but yeah, Scorcher strikes as Brown gets out. But we have number 3. We have Nathan McSweeney coming out, who's also had a good BBL. Only played 5 matches, I think, since Labushang, I think, came back. He had to drop out, but he's really key. And that 84 knock, I think, was
Performing in
really,
only one match. Only one match he performed well.
yeah, I think that 84 knock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
I
yes,
cannot remember which
yes.
team, but I did watch that innings. Yeah. But Heaslet gets a start. Um, Jack, your thoughts? I mean, right now, what the Heat should do? I mean, they lost Brown right now. What is the approach? Should they go aggressive like what Brown did, or should they be a bit more conservative?
well, you don't like to lose a wicket early in the third, just over 3 overs now. If the ball's in your area, go for it. I don't think you should hold back. It's a final. You got to be aggressive. You got to score runs, and big runs at the ball are going to be key. So just sensible shots. Don't take any reckless risks.
Yeah, very true. Kunal, which overs do you think the Brisbane Heat could perhaps use the power surge? We know the power surge can be used. I think,
After 10.
yeah. So, which part of the innings do you think the Heat perhaps could use that power surge?
Actually, it is depend upon the number of wickets you are losing within 10 overs. If you are losing 3 wickets, then you can use around 13 or 14. And if you are losing so many wickets and you have not more batsmen remaining and score is around 60, 70, then you can take around 11 and 12.
Hmm, very true. So right now, Berendorf is bowling his second over. I think so far, I think the Scorchers should be pleased with how they're doing. And as we know, their record, they played 7 finals. They won 4, lost 3. I think mainly the losses have come against Sydney Sixers. I think twice. I think the Scorchers have lost to Sixers. So that rivalry is still there. But a good bowling over here from Berendorf, bowling with bounce. So far so good, I would feel, from the Perth Scorchers. Apart from that over from Payne, but he still got that wicket, a key wicket over there. Um, Yeah, 27 for 1 after 2.4 overs. Jack, when it comes, I mean, the power play, I mean, after 6 overs, where do you think Heat would be satisfied? Do you think around 40, 45 perhaps in the power play would be beneficial for the Heat?
I think so. I think anything uh, probably 40 to 50 would be a pretty good 4-over power play for the Heat. So they'll be trying to aim
But
for
not to
that.
lose any more wickets. I hope they don't lose
Yes,
any more wickets. That's the thing.
that's the key as well.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. Let's see what they can do.
Berendorf bowling some good lengths. Within this over, he's been really, really good. Just 3 runs given. And another bounce over there. Is that a wide? I think it's given a wide. Yeah, it's given a wide. Well, I like this approach from Berendorf though. It's really good. Trying to bowl with pace, bowling with a bounce as well, troubling the batsman, getting a bit of swing as well, if possible, especially in that first over. But so far, so good from the Perth Scorchers as he's let faces the deliveries. Oh, a nick over there. Lucky there's a field over there in the third man region, and no run is taken. So 28 for 1 after 3 overs. Brisbane Heat. Interesting so far in this final. I think Brisbane Heat wouldn't mind this start, but obviously losing Brown was a huge wicket. Yeah. Kunal, back to you.
Yes.
What do you think? Heat should be obviously conservative right now. I would feel if they get loose balls, they should obviously score boundaries. But a power play score and perhaps in the 10th over, where would you imagine Heat possibly the score that they could possibly be in?
See, if they play aggressive cricket, then I might be expecting 60 runs within 6 overs. Means within 4 overs.
Mhm.
No, four. I think two powers is not right. So within 10,
Yeah.
I am expecting around
Matthew
60 to
Kelly has come
70.
to bowl, so let's see how Matthew Kelly does.
Between 60 to 70
A
runs
quick
within
single,
10.
and I think coming back. Hmm. And coming back to Jack, I think these ones and twos will be really, really crucial for the Heat right now, especially losing a wicket early. I think the rotation between the wickets is really important. I think for Heat, many teams don't do that, especially the Renegades. When I've seen the other teams, they generally don't take the ones and twos that well. But Heat, I think, have been doing quite well when it comes to strike rotation. But your thoughts? I mean, especially if they can't find boundaries, they should obviously rotate and get the runs somehow whenever they lose the wickets. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, rotation of strikers very important, and you can get a lot of ones and twos and threes here in Perth because of the size of the ground. It's sort of like the same size as the MCG almost. So
Yes.
yeah, that's going to be important. Making sure you limit the dot balls, but also make sure you're scoring ones and twos. If you can't get those boundaries in fours and sixes, it's going to be important for the Heat, and also it's important in T20 cricket across the board.
Very true. Yeah. So 29 for 1 as we're talking. 3.2 overs. Again, here comes Matthew Kelly. A good shot over there from Heaslett, but it's just a run. Scorchers have been doing quite a good job trying to reduce those boundaries. I think Brown was trying to be a bit more aggressive, and he unfortunately got out. But I think that was the right intent from Brown as well. And as Kunal mentioned, also, I think Brown is sort of a player like that who likes to attack.
Yes.
So
Yes.
unfortunately, Brown got out. Yeah, his strike rate was really good, but unfortunately got dismissed as they try to take a two over here. Good sensible batting over here from the Heat. Yeah, trying to score from the fine leg.
I think Scorchers will bring Andrew Ty now after a few overs or maybe next over.
Hmm. Hmm. Very true. I think the spinners also is Hazel. Turner is there today. Hazelgrove is not playing today, no. Yeah. All right, lucky over there from McSweeney and 4 runs. I think they have Ashton Turner who can bowl. They have Aaron Hardy, perhaps. Yeah. Kunal, what happened to Peter Hasselgu? Is he playing or not? I mean, is he opted out or what?
I
Because
don't
I was
know. It may be possible that it goes to another league, maybe.
very, I don't think he went to another league. I think he was dropped. I think perhaps. Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
Perth
Anyways,
Scorchers fast bowling is very good, seriously. So I
hmm,
think Turner think about that they can bowling spin and they take wickets also in this season. So I think so they are doing that experiment.
very true. Very true. Jack, I think if I'm not mistaken, Cooper Connolly, I think he was the captain of the under 19 team, right? If I'm not mistaken, and I think this season, I think he's playing the finals right now. Your thoughts about his potential, especially Cooper Connolly? If I'm not mistaken, he
ये
was
बता देना
batting
जब
in
जाने का
the
नहीं करे ना इसको मना
high
कर
up
मैं
the order
बोलने जा रहा हूँ
for the under 19 World Cup. Your
Yeah, I think
thoughts?
he was the captain of the under-19 side, from memory. He's been given an opportunity by the Scorchers, seeing that they're missing a few players because of test duties. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity for him to learn and develop as a cricketer.
Very true. Yeah. Don't you think Peter Hasselgood should have played today? I mean, especially him seeing as a talent, and I think he was doing really well. I think for the Scorchers for the time being, and him not playing today. Do you think they perhaps made a small mistake over there, or do you think they are relying from Ashton Turner and obviously Connolly to bowl those overs as spinners? Yeah.
Sorry, is that to me?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think so. I think they've just gone in with that combination with their bowling for tonight's game, and he'll be handy to bowl some overs of spin. So they've got other overs of spin from other people as well. So that's just the combination they've gone in with their bowling tonight, and it'll be important to see if that pays off or not. But the Scorchers, they've gone in with that for tonight's game, so it'll be interesting to see if it works out.
Very true. And I think right now, Aaron Hardy has come to bowl. So there are a lot of bowling options, especially the Perth Scorchers. Aaron Hardy has been doing a really good job replacing Middlemarsh. I know Middlemarsh was a big blow, Kunal, especially him being a key player for the Scorchers over the years, and him also not being present. And Aaron Hardy has really stepped up and has done a good job. So your thoughts on Aaron Hardy this season, Kunal? You're muted, Kunal.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, very good decision from Aston Turner to bring him in third position and giving some space to bat on and good bowler also. As I'm saying in the previous season, also is a good all rounder. So they are using him as an all rounder, and that is very good for Perth Scorchers also.
Very true. I think that's good bowling over here from Aaron Hardy. Nearly got McSweeney to nick that delivery and going past the keeper. Really good job over here from the Perth Scorchers so far. Of that good start from Josh Brown. And again, playing a pull shot over there. McSweeney coming back for 2. No, they're only coming back for 1. This is good from Perth Scorchers after a very good
You
start
can
from
say
Yeah, Kunal, yes, you can say.
uh, uh, you can say that Aaron Hardy is what Hardik Pandya do for India. Aaron Hardy can do for Perth Scorchers. Good batsman as well as bowler.
Hmm. And again, we see he's trying to score a boundary, but again another single. Your thoughts, Jack, about Aaron Hardy, especially him batting at number 3 and him playing that all-rounder role that I think usually Middlemarsh does, but unfortunately is out due to injury. But thoughts of how Aaron Hardy has stepped up this season?
Yeah, he's done pretty well. He scored a lot of runs with the bat. He hasn't bowled as much, this season. He's pretty much played as a batsman. He's got talent. He's got tremendous potential. There was talk about him playing for Australia in the future as well. So, yeah, he's done pretty well. He's in his early 20s, but he's already started well in his career. Hopefully that will continue, and hopefully he can have a great game tonight in this final. But good start from him from the ball, and he'll be hoping to get a wicket or two if he can.
Yes, 41 for 1 right now. Brisbane Heat after 5. I don't think they would be that bad. I mean, it's not bad right now after 5 overs getting 41 for 1. I think they are in a good position. If they can not lose any wickets, I would feel they can go for a 160 right now. They just need to obviously rotate strike and obviously find the boundaries if possible. Since Josh Brown gave a good start as well, and I think there's good batting to come as well with Sam Hain, Jimmy Pearson, the captain, Max Bryant, James Braisley, Michael Nesser can bat a bit. So they have depth until number 8 or number 9, Jack, especially the Brisbane Heat.
Yeah, they do. Obviously, the talk going into the last game was, missing out those key players, as we mentioned before, and their batting wouldn't stand up to the Sydney Sixers bowlers. But they were able to get over the line in the last game. So, it's important that their top order does most of the work, and hopefully the lower order doesn't need to do anything tonight. It's the job of the top order to get the majority of the runs, especially in T20 cricket. So, important partnership with McSweeney and Heslett. They've done okay. And I think the Heat will be pretty happy with where they're at after the power play and hoping to press on and up the ante in the next few overs.
Yeah, so they brought in Cooper Connolly. I think not picked up any wickets, just 4 matches. Brought in a bit of spin over here to probably get a wicket. It's a risky move perhaps because he's just played 4 matches, 0 wickets, but I think they have the depth. I think Perth Scorchers, and they could afford obviously Cooper Connolly to bowl right now. But let's see how he does. So far, it's been good from him. There's 2 runs from the 2 deliveries. Was really impressed with him with how he bowled in the Under-19 World Cup. But let's see whether he can make impact in the over that he's bowling right now. Yeah, so again, Cooper Connolly bowling well, good tight lines over there, but a single being taken from the Heat. Yeah, so I think Scorchers trying to get a wicket over here. I think the knock from Brown was very important. Unfortunately, I think he got out. He got a really good start. And I think these 2 batsmen are just settling in. Yeah. And it's just been lucky again. Max Sweeney coming back for 2. Yeah. So 46 for 1. Yeah. So yeah, they've just lost 1 match this season, Jack, especially Perth Scorchers at their home ground. So I think that's impressive from Perth Scorchers this season.
Yeah, you expect to play well at home and not lose too many games. Because other teams that come from the eastern states in Australia, when you come over to Perth, it's often harder to adjust because of the surface, because of the bounce and the pace of it. So that's why the Scorchers have great success at home, because they're used to it. But it's a good record, and for the Brisbane Heat, they'll have to play well to get a win tonight. But so far, so good, and I think both teams will be reasonably happy with how the game is panning out at the moment. Not even halfway, so it'll be interesting to see how the teams go about it in this next phase of play.
Yeah, I think it's a very crucial phase right now. 47 for 1 after 6 overs, and I think they brought in Andrew Tye, obviously the experienced bowler over here, who picks up wickets. I think Andrew Tye has been very consistent in the BBL, Jack, especially picking up wickets. I think 20 plus wickets last season also, if I'm not mistaken. He picked up around 25, 26 this season also. He's been the third highest wicket taker. So your thoughts about Andrew Tye's consistency and being around 36, 37, picking up 20 plus wickets, it's not easy to do.
No, it's not, especially when you get towards the back end of your career as a bowler. Once you hit late 30s, it's often hard to maintain pace and fitness.
Yeah.
But no, he's done pretty well. He's done it for a number of years now. He's bowled really well. He's changed a few things to gather some extra pace, as he mentioned, on a few occasions. So yeah, he's been an important bowler for the Scorchers season by season, and nearly 300 T20 wickets in his career overall. It's a pretty good record from AJ Tye.
I think he just signed a 1-year contract also for the BBL 13. So that is huge news for the Scorchers, especially him being the main player for the Scorchers when it comes to bowling. And yeah, I think the short ball deliveries has been very key for Andrew Tye, and his pace obviously also is really effective. So really good to see from Andrew Tye. I mean, 25 wickets, not easy, and the lengths that he's been bowling as shown on the graphics on TV also, it's just incredible to watch. And so far, a really good over from Andrew Tye once again. Just 1 run from his 4 deliveries. Yeah. So Heaslett and McSweeney still in the crease. A good yoke over there from Andrew Tye. And yes, Heaslett giving a small smile over there. But yeah, Andrew Tye has just been having a good career. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think probably the Brisbane Heat, I think the only strategy is to just score boundaries somehow of loose deliveries. And that was a wide over there. But yeah, perhaps hopefully the Scorchers can do something to get a wicket. Heat have to do something to obviously score runs. So not been easy. But coming back to Jack, how effective has been Andrew Tye's short deliveries? He's been getting a lot of wickets by bowling bouncers, and the batsmen have quite got troubled at times of Andrew Tye's slow bounce. And again, as we sorry to interrupt.
He's been bowling some good short balls, and especially gathering the extra pace that he has made them more effective. But you need a good bouncer in your armoury as a bowler, and I think that's the way to go here in Perth. Obviously, pitch it up. You don't want to bowl short here in Perth, but bowl a bouncer every now and again to keep the batters honest, and hoping you can take a wicket by doing that.
Very cool. Very cool. So just a few wides over here from Andrew Tye, but it's been a really, really good over from here. Didn't consider boundaries, so it has been really good so far from Andrew Tye. Hopefully they can get a wicket, or the Heat can obviously score a boundary. It's been a good over though. Just 4 runs from the over from Andrew Tye, and the Brisbane Heat are 51 for 1 after 7 overs. So I think both teams would be satisfied with how things are going so far. Just 4 runs from Andrew Tye from this over. So let's see what happens next. Do you think Ashton Turner should come right now, Jack, or do you think they should keep him perhaps to the 10th over or 11th over to perhaps bring in Ashton Turner? Because we know Ashton Turner is a very effective bowler, and perhaps he's the key bowler when it comes to spin department, since they don't have Hazelgu as well. So which over will the captain itself turn up for the Scorchers?
I think they'll keep it the same. I don't think you need to change anything. As soon as you do that, things start to go wrong. So just play the game situation, just stick to the same plan that they have, and they'll stick with that. But if you want to change something up, then do that if your instincts tell you to. But stick to your same, process that you've been doing all season, really. Why change anything in the final?
I think they brought back Kelly. I think it's a good move because, anyways, I think the fast bowlers have been getting a bit of movement, I would feel, and obviously in Perth, as we know, it's more effective for the fast bowlers, and especially with the weather as well, and in a hot afternoon as well, the fast bowlers do tend to get a lot more movement and do have more ability to get wickets than the spinners. And as we know, this pitch in Perth, it's really good for the fast bowlers. So right now 54 for 1 after 7.2 overs. We have Max Sweeney playing sort of a knock, I would say, anchor role right now, 13 or 15. Both of them not being aggressive right now, both trying to obviously not lose their wickets after what happened to Matt Brown. So let's see. Anyways, Matthew Kelly to Max Sweeney. Good ball delivery over there, just towards the stumps, and no run over there. So last 32 balls, 29 runs, no wicket, just 5.25. Jack, do you think they need to sort of think of obviously increasing that run rate? Because obviously to get the 160, they need to go around 8 runs over. So which over do you think perhaps Brisbane Heat should actually try to accelerate and try to get towards that 160 or 170 that they're hoping for? And as we are speaking, I think that is another 4 over 6. It's a 6, yeah.
Yeah, a very good shot there from McSweeney. Just lapping that over the keeper's head for 6. I think for the Heat, probably after the drinks break, probably after the 10 over mark, these two bat until 10 overs, and then after that, they're set, good partnership established. And then I think they'll put the accelerator on and think about the power surge and think about upping the run rate at that stage.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, right now it's been 61 for 1 after 7.5 overs. Yeah. Hopefully we can see something happening over here. Good shot over there from Max Sweeney, as you said over there. Beautiful shot over there. There's a scoop shot going for 6. And those innovative shots from Max Sweeney. As usual, Heaslett, we haven't seen much from Heaslett yet. Hopefully he can step up. Playing a pull shot but misses. And that's 61 for 1 after 8 overs from the Brisbane Heat. So both of them trying to not to lose their wicket after what happened to Josh Brown. But let's see what Brisbane Heat can do. And Perth Scorchers obviously would want to obviously have another plan perhaps to get either of them out. Yeah, let's see what Perth Scorchers do. And Ashton Turner perhaps. I think they've only used 5 bowlers so far. Yeah, they've used 6 bowlers. Sorry, they've used 6 bowlers. Berendorf going for 16 runs. Payne has gone for 12 runs but got that crucial wicket. He didn't bowl a second over. Kelly has bowled 2 overs. Hardy has bowled 1. Connolly has bowled 1. And Andrew Tye has bowled 1. They've gone back to Hardy once again, Aaron Hardy. And here comes Aaron Hardy again. That's a wide and the keeper misses. And perhaps another run. Another by run, perhaps, yeah. Yeah, not a lot of excitement so far, but let's see what happens. You never know. A 2020 match could obviously turn on its head. And as we say here, Jack also said, I think 160, 170 perhaps is a good score over here. And as we remember, Brisbane Heat did manage to beat Perth Scorchers once in a final, batting first also. I think it was in Perth, if I'm not mistaken, the BBL 2 final.
Yes, it was at the Wacker, the old ground.
Yeah. And now they've opted to the Optus Stadium, I think. Yes, and that's a good shot over there from Heaslett at last. He's striking. So that gives a good sign for the Heat that the batsmen have settled in and are taking over the advantage after getting settled in. And that was not a good delivery from Hardy at all, giving a full delivery over there, and Heaslett just swung the bat and that went for a 6. So yeah. And again, this could be another boundary. So good over so far from Brisbane Heat. So at last, Heaslett has got into the zone and is scoring. So thoughts on this? I mean, the boundaries that Heaslett has scored, and I mean, Scorchers, I think, not bowling the right lengths, perhaps, Jack, towards Heaslett.
Yeah, they're just straight off their length a little bit. That was a little bit leg sidish and short, and Heslett just helped it on its way down the fine leg. Just trying to get into this final. Obviously, nerves. You'd be nervous because it's a final. You want to do well.
Yes.
But you want to try and be consistent with the ball and pick up wickets. If the Scorchers pick up a wicket or two here, things can change quickly. So they just have to keep telling themselves that. But this partnership pretty good, 49 off 39. Need to keep going for the Heat for their prospects of getting a big total. But I think the Brisbane Heat will be the happier of the two teams at this stage, I would say.
Very true. I think both of them started slowly initially, but then they gradually build up that partnership, scoring boundaries and sixers, especially 2 sixers from both these players. I think this is a very, very crucial partnership between McSweeney and Heaslett, especially if he obviously would like to score around 165, 170, because this is Scorchers' home conditions. And as we saw also earlier, I think 160 is sort of not enough when it comes to other pitches. I'm not sure exactly in Perth whether a 160 would be decent, especially because this is a final and obviously finance pressure also would come. But I would feel if they could put up a 170, 170, it really would put Scorchers under pressure. Don't you think, Jack?
Yeah, anything 170, 180. I think once it gets up towards 200, it's a pretty good score. And chasing that in a final is not going to be easy. But it is a good scoring ground, Perth. It's a quick outfield, good pitch. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a close game. I really do. It just has that feel about it. But anything 180, 170 in Perth, you're in the game. If you bowl well, take early wickets, you're going to win most games. But it's always a good surface. So either score is a good score. But if you're the chasing side, you'll be confident of chasing these runs down when it's your turn to bat in the run chase.
Yeah, and a good 50-run partnership, I think, between McSweeney and Heaslett. I think both of them have been playing quite sensibly, and obviously would want Heat to be in a proper position right now. I think they are the happy of the two sides, as Jack said right now. 76 for 1 after 9. I think they're going really well. 8 runs and over as well, 8.44 runs and over, as they brought in the wicket taker back, Payne back. They really need a wicket right now, I would feel, Perth Scorchers, because both of these batsmen have already settled and they've obviously troubled Aaron Hardy in the previous over as well. So I think they've done the right thing to bring back David Payne back. But let's hope Scorchers can get a wicket and make things a bit interesting, because right now I think Heat cruising right now, I would feel a bit with both these batsmen. Yeah, so once again we have David Payne coming back, and a good shot over there from McSweeney, a good cover drive. There's a field over there. They would come back for 2. Yes, they comfortably come back for 2. So yeah, so far I think McSweeney just playing his 5th match this season for the Heat. Doing a decent job, I would feel, McSweeney, Jack, because it's just his 5th match only this season, and he only played 1 proper innings also, if I'm not mistaken, that 89. And again, that goes for the boundary for 4 runs, playing a good knock in the finals so far.
Yeah, McSweeney. He played that good innings, as you mentioned. I believe that was against the Sydney Sixers up there in Brisbane early on in the tournament. So he's He's only played limited games this season, but he's playing well tonight in the final here. The Heat will be hoping he can score another 80-plus score again. If he does, then I think Brisbane are a good chance of getting 200, possibly.
Very true, yes. I think right now, Scorchers are obviously looking for a wicket right now. They're really struggling right now to find a way of getting a wicket. You never know that one mistake that he does possibly could get into a wicket. So you never know. I mean, right now, obviously, he might be cruising along, but and this is good batting here from Heaslett and McSweeney, trying to get the ones, not giving any dots at all to the Scorchers, which is sort of irritating the Scorchers, because Heat are trying finding ways of getting those ones and twos right now. As Jack said, also the strike rotation is really, really important right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and they've done it nicely. These two.
Yeah, and again another one. So I think they are going in the right mindset right now. The Brisbane Heat 86 for 1 after 10 overs, and yeah, I think they're doing a very, very decent job right now. The Perth Scorchers, the Brisbane Heat. So yeah, it's a bit of a concern over here from the Scorchers, especially we know it's their own home ground, I would feel, but yeah, I think they need to find a way to get one wicket. I think one wicket obviously would change the game of the match, and hopefully they find a way of getting a wicket. Jack, your thoughts, the analysis so far from these 10 overs. Where do you think perhaps Scorchers can perhaps pull things back? Probably any risk what Turner can do. Perhaps Turner can bowl. What do you think Scorchers would do next? Seeing that both McSweeney and Heaslett is very comfortable against the pace attack of Perth Scorchers.
Yeah, they've probably struggled for their consistency with the ball. A few loose deliveries that have gone to the boundary or runs have been scored off it. So I think just going back to basics, really. Bowl good lines, good lengths. Setting the right fields to build pressure with dot balls. Take wickets. I think that's what they need now. They can look to take more wickets and slow the runs down a bit from the Brisbane Heat, because if they can do that, then they're a good chance of restricting them to a total that they can defend, chase down, I should say. So for the Scorchers, yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag in the first 10 overs. So I think Adam Vergis, the coach, and obviously Ashton Turner, the captain, will say a few things to the team. But yeah, if pick up a couple of wickets after this drinks break, things can change quickly. But you would say the Heat are in a prime position now to really get a big score. It's a good start from them. McSweeney and Heaslett have batted pretty well. And for the Heat, they need these two to go on deep towards the back end of the innings and hopefully have two set batsmen in and who are scoring well. You don't want new batsmen coming in, and that slows the momentum down a bit. But I would say first 10 overs, Brisbane Heat definitely in the box seat. The Perth Scorchers, they got some work to do in these next 10 overs. So it's an important phase of the game approaching right now.
Yeah, and Berendorf, I think, has been brought back by Ashton Turner once again to bowl his third over. And I think this is a very crucial time for the Perth Scorchers actually to pick up a wicket, actually, because, I mean, both Heaslett and McSweeney look settled. And this has been a really, really good partnership, 61 of 49 deliveries. And both have looked really, really comfortable. So let's see what Perth Scorchers have in mind, because this is a really important phase, as Jack also mentioned. But these two also look really, really good right now, and obviously a rotating strike, getting those ones, as you see, only 22 dots, Jack. I mean, that is really huge. I mean, 22 dots out of 60. So I think that's around 1/3, I think, perhaps. So I think that's pretty good from the Brisbane Heat.
Yes, it is. It's so important in T20 cricket not to have too many dot balls and look to score off every delivery if you can. And for the Brisbane Heat, they've done that. They've looked to score. Can't hit the boundary. They always push the ball in the gaps, get a single or a two, even the odd three.
True. Yeah. And again, another single over here. It's been really good from the Heat. I think Heaslett and Max Sweeney look really comfortable. I think Perth Scorchers need to somehow find a way. Perhaps trying to get more fielders inside the circle. Perhaps try something else, Berendorf. Perhaps try to bowl a bouncer, perhaps, and trouble the batsman, or do something in to get these two into trouble, because both look set, I would feel, right now. As another single for the Heat right now. Perhaps Ashton Turner will have to look upon himself after this over if they cannot pick up a wicket. It looks like a pitch for the pace bowlers, especially. I'm not sure whether for the spinners anything will be on offer. Do you feel, Jack, for the spinners there would be something on offer, do you think, on these pitches in Perth?
I wouldn't think so.
That's the thing.
I wouldn't think so on the surface. Looks pretty good. Good for playing shots on, as we're seeing. But also, yeah, I think the fast bowlers are probably most likely to get your wickets. I don't think there'll be much for the spinners, but it's worth a try. I think it's worth a try from Ashton Turner. Probably bowl some spin, just change it up a bit instead of them pace at both ends. So just change it up, bowl himself or Connolly or someone else who can bowl spin.
True.
Because definitely these two are feeling comfortable against Berendorf and co.
Yeah. I think Berendorf is bowling well, but it's these two just rotating the strike often and getting the ones. That is just putting up more pressure for the Scorchers, because they're figuring out ways to obviously score runs and not giving any dot balls and not feeling any pressure right now are these two batters. So that's it. I would feel one wicket obviously would change the game right now for the Scorchers, but I think they really do need the wicket right now, because the last 5 overs, as we've been speaking, 45 runs and going at a run rate of 9, which is really good. Going at 9 a run rate, especially in the middle phase, especially from overs 6 to 11. So really looking good for the Heat, obviously approaching a 200 over here in case if things go to their plans. But yeah, I think Turner has brought back Andrew Tye again. I think that's good, because we know how effective Andrew Tye has been. And yeah, he's just considered 4 runs of his first over. A good swing over here from Andrew Tye, and Max Sweeney misses. I think Heat have come a very long way, I would feel, Jack, because the way that they are, I mean, the turnaround of the season, and especially now challenging the Scorchers also for the BBL title, it would be a remarkable run if Heat actually wins this BBL title. Being last, I think, a few runs. Oh, this could be a run out. No. Unfortunately, Tye couldn't get there on time, but it's a remarkable turnaround if they manage to win the BBL, because no one expected Heat at one stage to even make it to the playoffs, and now going for the title.
Yeah, I'm sort of hoping that the Brisbane Heat sort of win tonight. It's Perth Scorchers and Sydney Sixers have been dominant for a lot of years now, but it would be nice for someone else other than those teams to win.
True.
It would be a very good a win if they can achieve it. They're in a good position to do that. But we've still got a long way to go in this match. Anything could happen. We all know that in cricket.
Yeah,
it's a funny game at times. But
yes, I do agree.
Yeah, it would be a great result for them, given how many years of disappointment that they've had in the BBL. Quite an inconsistent seasons they've had, the Brisbane Heat. So this would be massive for them. That's for sure.
And that's another boundary over there from Heaslett, another straight drive shot, and goes for a boundary. So this is really good batting here from Heaslett and Max Sweeney. And as we know, Heat have produced really good players, and especially talking about Chris Lynn, Brendan McCullum, Lot of good players been brought up from the Heat and have performed really well when necessary. It was just that the combination at times haven't been going quite well, and even Labuschagne has been produced by Heat. So a lot of good players have also been playing for the Heat in the past, and unfortunately they've only managed to win one BBL title so far.
Yeah, that's the thing, really. They've just had some inconsistent years, as I mentioned before. And, the Perth Scorchers, Sydney Sixers have been dominant for so long. So it's very hard for the other teams to beat them. But that could all change tonight if the Brisbane Heat can do it.
And it's another pull shot over there. Luckily didn't go to a field. Again, a single. Again, another good over, I would feel, so far from the Heat. Just need to score runs over here. Put pressure on Perth Scorchers, especially this partnership is seriously putting some pressure onto Ashton Turner and the players itself. It's not being easy. It's been a brilliant partnership between Heaslett and McSweeney, exactly knowing what's to be done, and obviously going in the right approach, as you mentioned. And that brings up the $100 also for the Heat. Remarkable stuff from both McSweeney and Heaslett over here. And at this rate, they could perhaps go to 189, which is a brilliant score from the Heat if they could continue at this rate, or even could go higher than 189.
Yes.
And again, another straight drive shot and another 4. So it's been easy, I think, so far from the Heat. I think perhaps Perth Scorchers need to change it up a bit. But your thoughts? I mean, especially Brisbane Heat. I mean, especially both these batsmen feeling really comfortable against pace. And
yes.
What do you think? Yeah. Yes, Jack.
Yes, exactly right. You just need to change it up and do something different here. I think probably Ashton Turner to bring himself on for a bit of spin and just change the pace of the game up a bit. They're feeling comfortable. They're in, they're set. They're feeling comfortable against the Pacers. So just need to do something, the Perth Scorchers. Otherwise, this could get out of hand and they could be chasing a total of 200 plus, which is only 12 and over from here. But you would say, as the Brisbane Heat have taken the power surge, which I think is a good move. You got 2 in batsmen. Might as well have two fielders outside the circle. They can definitely get up to 200 after this start, definitely. It's a pretty good pitch. There's not too many demons in the surface from what I've seen thus far. So the only thing here for the Brisbane Heat is with the power surge, we've seen this from teams since it's come in the BBL, you tend to lose wickets. You tend to go too much attacking in the power surge. So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. But as we speak of that, a wicket falls. And that's what happens. You take the power surge and a wicket falls. No surprise.
That is a brilliant catch over there. And yes, a wicket falls as Brisbane Heat takes the power surge as well. So, and another bounce over there from Behrendorff, as we know. And that's a brilliant change up from the Perth Scorchers. And a good catch over there from Payne. That's exactly the wicket that they wanted. And Heaslett gets out and Perth Scorchers breaks the partnership. So, Jack, do you think that now it was the wrong time for Brisbane Heat to take that power surge at the moment? Now,
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with the power surge. When do you take it? Do you wait until the end? Do you take it soon after the 10 overs are up? It's up to the batters out there in the middle. If they're feeling good, we'll take it. And that's what probably they did. They probably said, we're feeling good. Let's take it. We're put it on a good partnership here. But it can often bring about your downfall, and wickets can fall, as we've seen there from Heaslett try to hook one down a fine leg there. Unfortunately, didn't quite execute that shot well. But, for the Brisbane Heat, well, they got to rebuild and probably will set them back a little bit with the wicket. But important for McSweeney now to be the batter that bats all the way through now. He's in his set. He can't afford to get out. And just wait until Pearson gets in and setting into his own innings, and then hopefully build a partnership and hopefully, capitalise towards the end. But for the Scorchers, a very much needed wicket. Now we'll start to see them bowl a bit better and hopefully apply the pressure if they can. But for the Brisbane Heat, that's not what they wanted, but that happens. You just got to adapt and try and find a way to get through it.
A nice flick shot over there from Pearson. I don't think that will be going for the boundary. Perhaps 3 runs from the Heat. Yes, I think so. Yes. I think Pearson needs to just settle. I think he's a captain, obviously, and I think he should probably take the responsibility. But I think Max Sweeney over here, obviously, also should play a key role over here. Perhaps shouldn't lose his wicket only, and perhaps let Pearson settle. And seeing over here, I think it's really crucial right now. They lost a key partnership, I would feel. Behrendorff got the breakthrough. I think Behrendorff has been bowling really well today. Once again, after being unlucky in the first over, conceding 12 runs, I think he's made a remarkable turnaround. And as we speak, again, Max Sweeney trying to play the scoop shot. And again, comes for 2 runs. And Max Sweeney trying a lot of innovative things right now. Obviously, seeing that there's no fielder outside there are fielders past the keeper, but I think he's trying to obviously score runs over third man region. But Jack, your thoughts on Jason Behrendorff, especially after that first over?
Yeah, he's had a pretty good season, Behrendorff. He's always a good bowler for the Scorchers. He's done pretty well in this over, got the wicket, and it's his last over of the night, but hoping to finish off here with 2 balls
and
left.
This could be another wicket as we're speaking.
Yes, another one there.
Out. A brilliant over from Jason Behrendorff. As we said, a wicket can obviously turn around things, and Perth Scorchers have got 2 wickets. In fact, on this with this over from Behrendorff, as the captain gets dismissed as well. So this is really good bowling from Behrendorff. Bowling a bit short, I would feel, bowling sort of those slow bounces, as we know, getting what is on offer on that pitch and getting the wickets. This is really key, especially after a really good partnership from the Heat. They're sort of losing their way.
Yeah, they are, just a little bit. Couple of wickets have fallen. Pearson, just looking to take on the short ball there. He could have left it in hindsight, but he saw it short. He saw that fine leg was up, so he thought, well, I'm just going to hook this if I can. Good bowling from Behrendorff, just took the pace off that slow ball bouncer into the pitch, just changing the pace, and it worked. So very good over from Behrendorff, couple of wickets there. And for the Brisbane Heat, the power surge, 2 wickets in the first over of the power surge, and a lot of work to do for them now. It's really set them back. But they've got Sam Hain at the crease now, and he's done pretty well in this BBL in the games he's played. So that McSweeney, the key, obviously in batter. It's very important to have a set batter in, because you don't want 2 new batsmen in. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to try and up the run rate. But while he's there and Hain can build a partnership with him, the Brisbane Heat are still a good opportunity for them to get a 150 plus score if they can.
I think this power surge has caused certain teams, I think, to get into more trouble. Especially, especially taking that power surge, I would feel at times could put them overconfident, perhaps at times from the Brisbane Heat. But certain teams taking that power surge, they feel like they're comfortable, but it has actually caused trouble for teams who do take the power surge at times, and that's exactly what has happened to the Brisbane Heat, losing 2 wickets whilst using the power surge.
Yeah, they are just a little bit. Couple of wickets have fallen. Pearson, Yes. You always see that in this BBL when the power surge is on, that teams do lose wickets. It was meant to, increase run scoring, but that hasn't been the case since it's come into the BBL. It's taken more wickets for the bowlers, which is good for them. But we see teams lose wickets when they take it, and that's just the thing. When you're looking to attack and you see two fielders out, you want to go all guns blazing, but unfortunately, that can bring about your downfall as well. We've seen that tonight with the Heat. They were cruising. They lost a couple of wickets now, and they're on the back foot a little bit. But a partnership here, get them back on track, will do them nicely.
And as you said, I think Sam Haynos has been having a good season, I would feel. I think a good addition also from the Heat as well. So hopefully he can contribute with McSweeney, who's already settled. And perhaps he's the one now actually who could get that 60 or 70 as we mentioned before as well.
Yes, that one just falling short of the field there at mid-off. And they scamper through for a single. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about this, the Brisbane Heat.
I think perhaps bowling a bit slow. I think perhaps is offering quite a bit for the batsmen, as the batsmen are tending to struggle a bit while obviously bowling a bit slow. So I think those slow bounces are a bit effective, I would feel, on this pitch at Perth. I think that's what Berendorf also was trying to do. And I think that's exactly what Payne is also doing. And perhaps that's what I would feel. This over, he's been bowling 119, 117, 119. So the slowness of the pitch is really being seen, I think, for the Scorchers right now.
Yeah, I think they recognise that the Perth Scorchers bowlers, I think, try and take the pace off, make the batsmen force the pace on the ball, and it's working.
Pace off,
yeah, it's definitely working. They've taken a couple of wickets because of that, and even in this over from Payne, last 10 balls they've scored 8 runs and 2 wickets have fallen. So they've definitely changed their plans, which is good to see, and you expect that from a quality bowling attack that the Perth Scorchers have. They're going to be adaptable. They're going to change their plans and take the pace off, and it's definitely working. So for the Brisbane Heat, it's going to be interesting to see how they approach the next 6 overs after this.
Very true. Yeah, I think Perth Scorchers have obviously figured out the lengths and obviously the way that they have to bowl, because I think this obviously is offering some thing with the slow bounce and with the slowness of the pitch, I would feel. I think the Heat batsmen are sort of struggling. So I think the Perth Scorchers fast bowlers have figured out exactly which lengths and which pace that they need to bowl. And it's obviously having effect, which is why they picked up 2 wickets off Berendorf's over. And I think now they brought back Aaron Hardy. I hope he also figures out which lengths and pace and the lines he should bowl, because he's gone 20 runs off his 2 overs. And I think right now Berendorf and Payne had a good over. So hopefully Hardy also can do the same thing, because he'd still have a chance of going to 170 at this rate. So let's see what Hayne can do. And Hayne, perhaps, has he lost his wicket? No, it's safe. Comes back for 2. Yeah, Aaron Hardy has not been having a good night so far, but that's fine. I mean, especially with what Berendorf and Berendorf's 4 overs was key. And yeah, let's see what Aaron Hardy can do, but not been having a good day. But I think anyways can always come back with I mean, especially with what Berendorf and Payne have also managed to do. So yeah, I think this partnership is really key. McSweeney is really crucial now. I think if they lose McSweeney, I think obviously Heat have obviously lost it, I would feel. But yeah, right now things look a bit interesting, Jack, don't you think?
Definitely they have. And for the Brisbane Heat, we know their batting is not quite as strong once you get down the order. And that was the thing going into the last game of the Challenger. They were able to get the job done there, but it's important for McSweeney and Hayne here now to establish a partnership, be there at the end. Don't lose a wicket here now, because that would be not ideal. But if they can just rotate the strike, do the basics, and keep calm, I think that's important. Don't panic. You can catch up because it's such a good pitch to score runs on. So that will be the key for them now. And for the Scorchers, it's simple. Just pick up wickets and keep doing what you're doing, because
And
as
another
they
say,
do there, I think. Good catch from Bancroft there in the deep, and that's the big wicket of McSweeney. And now you would say now the Scorchers are firmly on top. And for the Heat, not what they wanted. In batter, McSweeney just trying to, hit that over Bancroft there at cover point. But unfortunately, just found him. Very good catch. So the Heat, they lose their fourth. McSweeney's got to go for 41. It's 4 for 117. 14.4 overs have been bowled. And you would say now that Perth Scorchers will be happy with the situation. And the Brisbane Heat, probably the dugout, will be disappointed with that wicket that has fallen there from McSweeney. So pressure on Sam Hayne to score majority of the last the runs in the last few overs. I don't know who's coming in next, but I think it's, Max Bryant. So Max Bryant can hit it, but he's been a bit inconsistent. Max Bryant hasn't really reached his full potential as a cricketer. But hopefully tonight he can come in and get some quick runs here from in this innings and put the Heat in a good position. But the wickets falling don't really help. But he's got an opportunity. What can he do? Let's see.
Yeah, I think sort of the power surge sort of carried away, I would feel, because the first delivery itself, I think a wicket fell, and I think maybe I think both McSweeney and Heaslett wanted to approach and get a few runs, but I think Scorchers sort of brought things back when they brought in the power surge Heat, and I think it sort of costed Heat a bit with sort of the decision that they made, but I think they still can make amends of that by putting up a good score, and I think these two are key for that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the end of the over there. It's 4 for 119. 15 overs still to be bowled here. Brisbane Heat just lost their way a little bit. Lack of momentum. That power surge brought about a couple of wickets in that first over of that power surge, and since then, just wickets have tumbled. The Scorchers have bowled really well, changing their pace, bowling lot more slower balls, off-pace deliveries into the surface, which has worked. And the Brisbane Heat were cruising at one stage, and it looked like they were going to get a score of 170, 180, maybe even 200 at one stage. But all of that has changed. And things can change quickly in this game, as we know. T20 cricket, things can change in one over or a couple of balls, and that's the case here.
True.
So for the Brisbane Heat, they need to get something over 150 to be competitive in this match, because it's still going to be a pretty good surface when the Perth Scorchers go out there to bat in the second innings. So they need to get something over 150, I feel, to be competitive in this match, and hope to take early wickets with their bowling. But the Scorchers, they've done pretty well, and that's why they're the top team in the BBL for so many years.
They've not changed the combination, I think, Jack. That's, I think, the main reason why Scorchers is having so much success. And I think around Ashton Turner, I think Ashton Turner doesn't get enough credit for his captaincy and the way that he builds up his team. And I think he's a real asset for the Scorchers. And I mean, the players around him, especially Andrew Tai, Berendoff, they've been in the franchise for a long time. So they do know how to play these finals. And I think Scorchers just played a final last year and won it. So they do go as the favorites also this time around, and especially playing in their home ground. I think there's around 50,000 people today, I think, in attendance. So that's really key. Also, the fans supporting the Perth Scorchers, also feeling like home, I think is really helping them at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're playing at home in front of a big crowd, it's always good to get that support. And it's good to see so many people there as Hayne gets that over, pass mid-on to the boundary for 4. Much needed boundary for the Heat and for him. He moves on to 10 off 8. Just advancing down the wicket there, and he cleared the fielder there at mid-on. Just got enough over it to get it to the rope for 4. But that crowd support's always nice. And it's a big crowd. Good to see people coming back to the Big Bash. There's been a lot of talk about the crowds over the years, and especially this summer in Australia, but the crowds haven't been what they used to be. But for a domestic T20...
crowd turnout today, I think, in Perth. I think a lot of people, obviously, it's their home franchise playing also in the finals. They know the success of Perth Scorchers also. So a good crowd turnout on a Saturday evening today in Australia. So that's great to see. I think especially 49,000 people attending, because a lot of people were complaining that the BBL, they were not getting enough attendance, and a lot of people weren't interested with BBL. So it's good to see a good turnout today.
It is. It's good. It's good to see people have turned out and watched the final. But you always get a big crowd in Perth. You know, when the Scorchers are doing well, it's no surprise that we've seen that today. But hopefully, the crowds continue next season. The BBL will be shortened next season.
Yeah. I think it's 43 matches, right? 43 or 45.
Yes.
I think it's because of the TV rights. Because
yes,
the TV rights
wanted
it to
wanted it a bit shorter. So, and I think that's right. I think the only T20 competition to get away with the length is the IPL, obviously. I think other T20 leagues, you probably need to shorten them. And also to keep the best players in the tournament, because, you know, you have other leagues around the world. You have a long tournament like the BBL that's started in December and it's now February. Other players are going to play in other leagues and, you know, leave halfway through the tournament. So I think it's a good move from the BBL, Cricket Australia. And I think it will bring people back and it will keep those players in for longer, rather than just leaving after a few games, as we've seen this season with quite a few of the teams with their players going to other leagues, like in South Africa or Dubai. But
I agree with you. And that was a good straight drive shot over there from Matt Bryant over there. And I think Heat have sort of got into their way, as it's 132 for 4 after 16. So, yeah, as you said, it was right. I think 40 matches, I think, will be quite good for the BBL. And I think, obviously, more people will start to watch, especially the international audience also will start to watch BBL more closely, because it's a few games only. It's only 40 games next season, and somehow shortening the league and obviously make players like Warner, Smith. We saw how Steve Smith also performed when he was given the opportunity for Sydney Sixers, and especially Khawaja, Labuschagne, all these test playing players doing well in the 2020 circuit also this time. So, and I think especially because we've seen a lot of overseas players also leaving midway due to the IL T20 and the SA20. But Jack, don't you think that perhaps they could perhaps shift the BBL perhaps from, as we know, it's usually from December to February, but don't you think they could perhaps play with the WBBL, I mean the Women's Big Bash League that happens in November itself? Don't you think both the men's and women's could be played at the same time, or perhaps play it around October, November, to avoid this clash happening between the SA20 and ILT20, because more players are interested to play, especially in the SA20. Especially we've seen a lot of Australian players joining those leagues now.
Yeah, I think they'll keep it at the same slot. I think December, January, I think they'll keep it there for the BBL. The WBBL is different because it's a standalone tournament. They wanted to separate that from the BBL. So they'll keep their schedule as they have now. It used to be played together at the same time, but then they separated them, which they've done for a few years now. So I think they'll keep doing that into the future. But with the BBL being shorter and next season to 40 odd games from 60 this year, I think it will be, much easier for players to stick around for longer.
Yeah, I
and
think
play
it's
in
the right
BBL.
approach because. Yeah, because as we know, IPL, I think it's expanding, and people are getting more annoyed the fact that I mean, IPL is obviously the best league in the world, no doubt. But the way that it's been expanding, if I'm not mistaken, 94 matches is going to take place in 2025 or 2027. So when IPL is trying to expand, BBL is trying to shorten. So I mean, obviously people would want to watch a league that has perhaps 40 or 50 matches perhaps than a league that has perhaps 80 or 90 matches, which could happen in the future with more teams. So, and obviously I mean, shortening wise, I mean, it's good for the Australian players also, because I mean, obviously they have so many series also happening at the same time. They have a lot of test series happening during that period, December, January. So perhaps they could play whenever they don't have a match, which is what most of these test playing players have been doing. And this has been a good striking so far from Max Bryant. I think 2 sixes so far from this over. So a good over here from the Heat as they're approaching 150. Seems like Heat is getting back onto track. Madhu here says, hello guys. And he says, no long to take the fifth. But yes, you never know what happens in a 2020 match, Madhu. So perhaps be patient, because Heat right now are coming back into this game, especially Max Bryant, doing a really, really good innings so far, Jack.
Yeah, it's been good. These two have put on a partnership, which was much needed after losing Pearson. So that's a boundary there. The umpire changed his decision. He gave it 6, and now he has to change it to 4.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's a boundary, so that helps. But it's been good. Just what they needed, the Heat, just to get back going again. The Scorchers were dictating terms, but for the Brisbane Heat, they've just wrestled some momentum back, and they need to keep going and keep ploughing on here and get one over 150 to be competitive. And there'll be a chance to win with a score over 150 plus if they can manage that. 3 overs left. Anything can happen in the last 3 overs of this innings.
I think they're surely going to get 150, especially being 146 for 4 after 17. But I think getting a 165, 170, I would feel a 160, 170 score, especially a final, would obviously put Scorchers into pressure. But obviously, I would feel if Heat gets around a 170, 175, I think that's a perfect total, especially seeing that it is a final, and especially Scorchers also, I'm not sure whether they've chased a 170, 175 before in a finals, but still could be a bit of pressure, and especially not having the key players also, Heat, not having Khawaja, not having Labuschagne, not having the players that they needed. They still are playing well, so that's just good news for the Brisbane Heat. Yeah, so I think they brought in Payne again. So let's see what happens in this over. I think Bryant has been doing really well so far. He's having a mixed tournament, but is stepping up in the finals. and again goes for the shot, and oh, that nearly could have been caught, but gone for a 6. Could have been a one-handed over there, but was a good effort over there, but was just too tough, and gone for a 6. So Bryant definitely on the mood over there. 81 meter 6, did all what he can. Would have been a perfect one-handed catch if that happened. But yeah, I think the ball was traveling so far. Yeah. So Jack, they've reached the 150 over here. Heat after that 6. I think 170 on the cards. Jack, as how Heat are performing right now.
Yeah, with 2 overs left after this, they can definitely get up to that 170 mark. And if they can get that, that's a pretty good score. If runs on the board are gold in a final. So anything 170 would be very good for the Brisbane Heat. And for the Perth Scorchers, they know these conditions. They know how the pitch will play. So there's no demons or anything in this surface. Looks pretty good for batting, as you expect here in Perth. So, I think it's probably going to be a close game. It looks like that. I think we're going to get a close run chase here if we can.
Very true. 153 for 4 right now after 17.3. As Jack said also earlier, that this is a good batting pitch, but still it offers something for the bowlers. Especially we saw in the middle overs how Perth Scorchers bowled those slow bounces and got wickets. So there is something on offer for the bowlers as well. But it's a good batting track as well, especially if bowlers don't bowl the right lengths. Obviously, boundaries will be considered, and that's what we've been seeing from most of these bowlers. And as we mentioned, Max Bryant gets another boundary, and he's really batting well in the finals. 31 of just 12 balls. So that's just brilliant from Max Bryant so far. Max Bryant really in the mood.
Yeah, he is. He's usually a powerful striker of the ball. That was a very good shot, straight back down the ground, just sort of flat batted that, really. Very good shot, much needed boundary. And it's a good cameo from him, 31 off 13. And 2 overs left, the Heat's 158 for 4. So on track to get up to that 170 score, and they'll be happy if they can get up to 180, I think. Yeah.
Very true, yeah. So 158 for 4 right now, the Brisbane Heat after 18 overs. So they've been doing a really, really good job right now. The Heat, hopefully they can get that 180 as expected. And I think this has been a good comeback. Especially, I think Max Bryant going at a strike rate of 200 has really elevated Brisbane Heat's chances of getting a good score. And going at around 10 runs per over right now for the last 5 overs, it's really, really key right now for the Heat to get around 175 and challenge the Scorchers in their home ground to obviously win the title. Yeah, so far very interesting. I think it's been a really, really good first inning so far. Both teams having edge whenever needed, but it's been a really, really interesting innings. And I think Heat right now are having the advantage right now, obviously, to go and get that 170. And as Sam Hain tried to attempt a scoop shot, missed it. That's fine right now. They just need to get those boundaries and hopefully get around that 170, 180 right now. I think already they got what they wanted. The pass score is around 150, so they've achieved that, and they're heading towards 160 also. But as we know, it's a final. I think 170, 180 would be a brilliant score in a final, and will put the Perth Scorchers under pressure. And again, Sam Hain trying to attack, but again trying to flick to the offside, and gets a run. And giving Max Bryant the strike, and I think that's what is crucial right now. And thoughts, Jack, of how the power hitter Max Bryant, the way that he's been striking the ball, using the front foot really well, trying to accelerate, he's really well positioned to score those boundaries. So how effective has we know that Max Bryant hasn't had a great season in BBL, but he's performing well in the finals.
Yeah, he's stood up when needed. Tonight, obviously, he's done pretty well. 31. As soon as we talk him up, he skies one in the air and he gets caught by Inglis. So his innings comes to a close, but
anyways, I think he contributed. Yeah, I mean,
at least he's contributed tonight. Unfortunately, didn't quite time that shot. Just hit it straight up in the air, leading edge, top edge, I should say. Yeah. Good catch from Inglis with the gloves on.
Yeah.
He'll be disappointed to get out when he did there, but good little partnership with Hayne. Good contribution, much needed from the Brisbane Heat after losing a couple of wickets early on. But he's given his team a chance to break 170 and hopefully be competitive in this final.
Very true over there. Yes. So 159 for the loss of 5 wickets, and yes, Kelly does strike, and unfortunately, Max Bryant has to go. That was a good innings from Max Bryant, but has brought Brisbane Heat a chance of getting 170 at least on this pitch. So, and especially in the final, getting 170 is not easy. So I think Heat have done quite a good job. Let's see whether they can get 150 as Michael Ness has come into play, and I think he also can bat. Also has a good strike rate of 134, 135. So that is good news. So let's see what the Brisbane Heat can do. All right, I think this could be another wicket. And yes, and as we speak, there's 2 wickets fallen in 2 balls. So it's not an ideal scenario over here, Jack. Heat obviously trying to go and attack, but actually have lost 2 wickets on the way.
Yes, they have. Nessa trying to get on with it from ball 1. Obviously, there's 1 over after this. That's understandable. But for the Scorchers, a couple of handy wickets there just to slow things down again. And Nessa, he's going for a golden duck. And had a pretty good last game. Nessa got 40-odd on a difficult surface at the SCG. He was the only one who batted with real confidence on that pitch. Disappointing there for the Heat. And a hat-trick for Kelly. He's on a hat-trick ball. So hopefully for Baisley, he's not the victim of that hat-trick. But we've seen a couple of hat-tricks this BBL season.
I think Nathan Ellis got a hat-trick, if I'm not mistaken, for the whole.
Yes, Nathan Ellis and Michael Nessa got hat-tricks this BBL.
Yeah.
But let's see what Kelly can do.
And as he hits it up, but it's safe. And goes to the ground, and no hat-trick for Kelly. And there could have been an overthrow as well, but luckily there was a field over there. Yes, they've got 160 also, the Heat. Only need 10 runs to get that 170. And I think he could be satisfied with the 170, especially in the final, and put the opponent team into trouble. I mean, sort of put them into pressure. And it could be interesting chase from the Scorchers if it does get into 170. Let's see, even I would feel 160 also would be interesting chase now for the Scorchers. And a really good shot over there from Sam Hain, knowing the fielders set up and all, and goes for a boundary. Good shot over there from Sam Hain, Jack.
Yes, very good shot. And a boundary to finish the over there. So as a bowler, you don't want to go for a boundary last ball of the over. But same Hain there. He was able to capitalize on that delivery and get it to the boundary. So much needed boundary for the Heat as they're getting towards that 170 score, which will be a good score on the surface. But the Perth Scorchers, they do have a strong batting lineup and they do chase well. So early wickets will be the key for the Heat once they begin the second innings. But if they can get a big over in this last over of the innings, I think they'll be going in with confidence towards their bowling.
Yeah, and as we know, Scorchers batting second. They won 9 and only lost 2 matches when they played 12 matches. So that's
that's a pretty good record.
Yes, exactly. And I think Thai started well over there. So yeah, that's what I would feel. He should somehow get to that 170 and try to put some psychological effect onto the Scorchers a bit. And again, a good delivery over there from Andrew Thai. So 2 good deliveries so far in the final over, and that experience is obviously giving Thai. I mean, that was a really good delivery over there, a York over there, wide Yorker. Experience really helping Andrew Thai at the moment. And he just needs 1 wicket to get 300 wickets in 2020 career. And that's a wide, and that could be a run out, but misses the stumps. Really getting interesting. I think that's that's not a wide given also. Interesting. I think Basil wasn't happy that wasn't given a wide, but yeah. Good bowling so far, 3 dots, Jack. That's good from Andrew Thai so far, especially seeing him going 10 runs and over, doing a really effective final over so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. He's been executing. First 3 balls, that one a wide, a bit short there. So an extra run, extra delivery helps the Heat. Yeah, it's been a pretty good last over. You expect that from AJ Thai. He's going to bowl his variations. He's going to change his pace. He's going to make it hard for the batters to get a hold of him in this last over. But it's good bowling under pressure in a final. For the Heat, 3 balls left. What can they do? They want to get over 170 plus.
And that's a good shot over there going towards the boundary. I feel that's a 4. Yes, that's a 4. So that's good from Brisbane Heat getting towards 170. And yes, I think right now Perth Scorchers will have to anyways chase 170. So a good 4 over there, good boundary over there. A full toss over there from Andrew Thai, and Vasily takes advantage over that and finds the gap and gets a boundary. So that's a good shot overall, well timed. And that's good from the Heat because they get on to 170. And another shot from here, and that's out. But I think Heat have overall done the job. I mean, anyways, psychologically, if they do get that 170, that's good. But right now, I think they're very, very close, just the touching distance of 170 as Basley gets out. But I think job's done, I would feel, Jack, from Heat today, especially in the first innings.
Yeah, runs on the board, I think. They're pretty happy with that. Runs on the board, anything 150 plus is good in a final. So if they can get a boundary or a 6 here, it will be pretty good. But yeah, I think they'll take 169 and runs on the board, and early wickets will be key for the Heat. They've got to take early wickets in the power play if they are going to really put the Scorchers under pressure. But for AJ Thai, 300 T20 wickets, pretty good achievement from him.
And I think that's a 6, so that's a well played shot there from Bartlett.
There you go. That's a good finish to the last over there for the Heat. Disappointing for Thai. Good over up until that last ball, but nonetheless, he got a wicket. But 175, 176 for the Scorchers to chase. I think we're in for a pretty good run chase, I think. It's a good surface. If the Scorchers get 1 or 2 good partnerships, I think that will be the game done. If the Brisbane Heat can take early wickets up front, I think they're in with a chance. But I think we're in for an exciting finish to this BBL final.
Yeah, I think Brisbane Heat got a really good score, and I think that final, shot from Baslett obviously got Heat past 170, and that's brilliant job, well done from the Heat. I think overall, I think Heat were doing well, except for that middle phase. I would feel Jack. Heat lost it a bit, but I think they recovered really well in the last 5 overs.
Yeah, they did. They lost a few wickets in that middle period of play, but they were able to form a couple of partnerships towards the end and get the job done. So, yeah, they'll be happy with their score. They'll take that any day of the week in a final. But they would have liked a little bit more if they're going to be critical. But nonetheless, it's a pretty good score, 175. They'll have to bowl well. But I think they're in with a good chance. They've given themselves a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I think Berendorf bowled really well. I think 2 for 26 of overs, as we said. I think especially the length that he bowled was brilliantly well done, I would feel. Andrew Tye, I think the final over was good, but then unfortunately the boundary and the 6 of the last 2 deliveries sort of costed it. But I think what would you tell about the Perth Scorchers bowling, Jack? Do you feel that they did a decent job, or do you think they could have done a bit better, perhaps in a final?
They're a bit patchy, I thought, tonight. Weren't quite hitting their straps early on, but then they recognised, okay, we need to take the pace off and bowl it into the surface and make the batsman force the pace. And that worked. They got wickets. So they changed their plans and they knew what they needed to do. They got wickets. They picked up wickets, but you would say they would say to themselves, yeah, we probably didn't bowl at our best, but we got wickets. We're able to keep them under 200, which is a good result. So it's up to their batsmen now to get out there and score the runs. The bowlers have done their part. It's up to the batters to finish it off and hopefully win back-to-back titles. But they all contributed except for Connolly there. He didn't take a wicket, but he only bowled 1 over. But they picked up wickets every now and again to stop the flow of runs from the Heat after they were going so well. So, yeah,
I agree.
A bit of a mixed bag, but nonetheless, they'll take that. They'll take anything under 200 on this surface.
So what do you think would be the approach of Perth Scorchers now? I know they have to obviously score a 176. I think they have a good batting depth also. I think perhaps until number 7 or number 8, they have a good batting depth. So what would be the approach of Perth Scorchers when it comes to chasing, and especially in the power play? Would be really crucial, as we know the Heat also only lost 1 wicket in the power play and then build it on until the 10th over as well. So Scorchers, I think Bancroft has had a good season, I would feel, for the Scorchers. Even Aaron Hardy has had a good season. Turn has had a good season with the bat. So they do have informed batsmen. So what would be the approach for the Scorchers?
Well, I think just get in, get set, see what the pitch is doing, and then go from there, be aggressive. I think for the Scorchers to really put the Heat under some sort of pressure in this game is to be aggressive up front in the power play. If they can have a good power play, then they will put tremendous pressure on the Brisbane Heat, and the Brisbane Heat will be a bit worried and a bit concerned if they get off to a flyer. So I think be aggressive, but be measured about it. Don't take unnecessary risks, but look to score and be aggressive, I think. And when you do that, you put the opposition under pressure in a T20 match, and no doubt the Scorchers will be hoping for that. But anything can happen in a final. Just go out there, be aggressive, have a positive mindset. And the Scorchers, they have a good record chasing, as we've seen from them. They've only won 9 games and lost 2, which is a pretty good strike rate. So,
yes,
they'll be calculated about their chase, and they'll know when to accelerate and take risk and be a little bit safe at times. But it's a good surface, so I don't see anything troubling them. Be aggressive and not lose too many wickets in the power play. I think that will be the key. If they can do that, they're on their way to chasing down the total. in this final.
Yeah, very true over there from Jack. So yeah, I think a small break over there from the first innings. So hopefully second innings action will start soon. And Perth Scorchers have to chase 176. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we know Perth Scorchers have been brilliant in chasing in this, in the BBL 12. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, 175 is a good score put up by the Heat in the finals, but we know this is the home turf of the Perth Scorchers. So let's see how the Scorchers approach this. And they have batsmen who are in good form. So it's going to be interesting to see how Scorchers approaches this chase. Yeah, so let's see how it happens. Jack, any thoughts on also Andrew Ty's small personal milestone? He got 300 wickets today. I think that's huge. I would feel for a career for Andrew Ty, especially doing really well in the Big Bash League. Has been really, really doing well for the Perth Scorchers, also for BBL. So a few words for Andrew Ty as well.
Yeah, well, he's played in so many leagues around the world over the years. And 300 wickets is a great achievement for a bowler to take that amount of wickets. Yeah, he's just a pretty good bowler. Does his role, does his job. We've seen that in the Big Bash over the years. We've seen it in this Big Bash. We've seen it tonight. Just comes in, does his job. So yeah, it's a small milestone. Obviously, players don't really play for milestones. You sort of look back at that at the end of your career when you've retired. But no doubt, I think he'll be proud of his achievement today, and hopefully it will lead to the Scorchers winning back-to-back titles, hopefully.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very, very interesting chase over here. We've got a match in our hands over here with the way that the Brisbane Heat have played. Really impressed with how Brisbane Heat, the first innings, especially Brisbane Heat, have done a good job. But you never know. It's a 2020 match. Perth Scorchers could always turn things around. And let's see how the second innings starts. I think it will start around maybe in 5 to 10 minutes. So let's hope. The chase also is as interesting as the first innings, because the first innings we saw both the teams having some advantages, but obviously Heat have taken the advantage at the end. So let's see how the Scorchers approach this. I think Cameron Bancroft has been doing very well, especially batting at opening and batting at number 3. Esquinas has been doing well. Hare has been doing well. English, so they have a solid top 5. I would feel. Jack, especially the Perth Scorchers, especially most of these players are experienced, especially Bancroft, English, Turner. They've been playing for the Scorchers for some time.
Yeah, they have, and they just know how to go about things with the bat. That's why they're a good team all round. They're batting, bowling strong. Everyone knows what they need to do. So yeah, they won't go off that tonight. They'll keep to their plans and processes as they have done throughout the whole season. So hopefully that can lead them to chasing down this total. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, pressure does weird things in a final. If the Brisbane Heat can take a few wickets early, I think then it's going to be a tight game. But yeah, I think for me the power play is going to be crucial. If the Scorchers have a good power play, then they're on track to chase down these runs. But if the Brisbane Heat can get, a few wickets, put the pressure on the Perth Scorchers batting lineup, then I think it's going to be an interesting run chase. So yeah, but they're a good side. They're a good batting side, the Scorchers. The opening partnership, Bancroft and Eskenazi's done well this season. Then you've got Inglis, and then you've got Ashton Turner, who's been playing well. So yeah, it's a very strong batting lineup they've got. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about things in the run chase. But yeah, playing at home, pitch is good. They'll be raring to go and hopefully capitalize on this good batting surface.
I mean, many of them have been amongst the ranks this season. I think Hardy scored around 400 plus. Same with Josh English, I think scored around 405. Bancroft also is having a very good season, scoring around 350 runs. So most of these batsmen have been in good form for the Perth Scorchers, which is going to be key. And as you said, Eskinasi also has been contributing as much as he can also, because obviously Faf du Plessis had to go midway for the Scorchers to play for the SA20 league. So I think Eskinasi also has sort of done a good replacement of Faf du Plessis, giving a good start. So let's see. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Scorchers are going to approach this. But we know they're good in chasers. So hopefully things go in place for the Scorchers right now. As we wait until the second innings start. Hopefully it starts in 5 to 10 minutes, or 5 minutes to be precise, hopefully. So let's see how the second innings goes underway. Yeah. So guys, do comment. Anyone who's watching, please do comment so that we can both answer the questions, me and Jack. Please do check out the WW podcast as well. Do check out Jack's channel on YouTube, and do go and subscribe, and do like his videos as well, and do the following for the sports breakdown as well if possible. As we know, the India versus Australia series is approaching next week. Jack, how excited are you for the upcoming India versus Australia Test series? As we know, I think Australia have already qualified for the WTC finals, but I think it's really up to India, who's probably under pressure. Perhaps I think it's in their home ground, obviously in India, but I think India sort of is more into under pressure, because obviously they have to qualify for the WTC finals first of all, because I think Australia have already secured going to the finals.
Yes, they're excited as always. They seem to be coming around quickly, the Australian-India Test series. Yeah, I think this series in India is probably going to be a close series. I think both teams are going to be competitive, and Australia have selected a squad that's probably the best that we've selected to India for some time. The team's playing well. Pat Cummins is captain pretty well. It's going to be a big test for him captaining in India, but for Australia, you know, we don't win very often in India. The last time was 2004, and you know, Australia's won four series in India over its history.
Yeah.
So Pat Cummins can be the fifth to join that list, and I think he can. You know, for Australia, it's going to be important for them to win key moments and capitalize on those in this series.
True.
You know, their bowling can take 20 wickets. Their batting needs to score big runs to put India under some sort of pressure. If they can do two of those things, then they're in with a chance to win this series. But it's always an interesting series in India, especially. So hoping that Australia can win, but let's just hope for a good competitive series, and I think we'll get that over the 4 test matches in India.
Yeah, very true. I think certain selections that Australia have made also have been very interesting. I think there is a debut series, I think, for one play, if I'm not mistaken. I cannot exactly remember his name, but yeah, I think that's good to see. I think Australia giving opportunities for certain players for the series against India. I think that's good to see. And I think they have a really, really good squad. Obviously, unfortunately, that Cameron Green, I don't think could bowl. I think Todd Murphy was trying to come to that. Yes, Todd Murphy getting a chance this time around. And yeah, even Lance Morris getting a good chance as well. That's good. But Cameron Green not bowling, Jack, is that a bit of a blow, do you feel, for Australia, especially seeing how he's bowling in Australian conditions? He was bowling really well, but I think he cannot bowl until April. So do you feel that's a bit of a blow, especially him playing at number 7, or do you think still he can contribute with the bat?
Yeah, it does. It does upset the balance a bit of the team. When you have Cameron Green bowling, you can have an extra quick, and you can, you know, either have more bowlers or less bowlers and have an extra batsman. Yeah, he can still contribute with the bat if he's available and fit. I think Australia do need an extra batsman. I think, you can easily get caught in having too much bowling. I think for Australia, they got to pick their best bowlers, and that will be a straightforward decision. It's not always the case, but I think pick the best bowlers and go from there, and then the rest of the team should sort itself out. But he does add that balance in the side if he's batting and bowling. At number 6, you've got that all-rounder in the side. But for Australia, it depends on conditions, depends if they want to play 2 spinners or 3. So we'll have to wait and see on that. It's inconvenient, but Australia will have other plans to work around that, I suppose. But I did read somewhere that Cameron Green is pushing for selection for that first test, only to play as a batter only. But we'll have to wait and see how Australia approach that throughout this series. But it's going to take a team effort, that's for sure, to try and win over there in India. It's not going to be certain individuals, so we'll have to wait and see what they do with selection. But I say just pick your best players and go from there, and they should be good enough to get the job done. So, but it's a pretty good squad. So Australia got a lot of options to go to.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. So as we speak, Perth Scorchers are coming onto the field. Obviously, the second innings to begin. So 176 runs to get for the Perth Scorchers. It's going to be a very, very interesting final. Brisbane Heat already scored 175 for 7 in their 20 overs. Perth Scorchers need 176 runs to win. Let's see how the Brisbane Heat approaches, especially their bowling. Michael Nessa obviously going to be the key player. For me, I would feel for the Brisbane Heat, especially him having a fantastic season for the Brisbane Heat this season. Even Bassett could be a player to watch out for. And for the Scorchers, I think Bancroft and Eskenazi obviously should get a good start, I would feel. So let's see how the Heat approaches this. All right, so we have Stephen Eskenazi from England, obviously. We having a good season, as Jack mentioned earlier. And also we had Cameron Bancroft. We know how experienced he is. We don't have to mention twice about his contributions to the Perth Scorchers. He's been having a brilliant season. 11 matches, 342 runs, strike rate 141.3. His best is 95 not out. Very unlucky to miss out that 100 from Cameron Bancroft, but he's been having a good season as well. So let's hope for the best. And we have Michael Nessa coming in. He also has 1 more wicket left to get 100 wickets in BBL career. 86 matches, 99 wickets, and 8.32. So hopefully he also can achieve a milestone today. But these are just small milestones. Obviously, both teams are looking forward to win the BBL. So let's just see how things go. So it's going to be interesting to see. Jack, what do you think will be the approach of Michael Nessa? Probably the lengths that he should bowl, especially seeing how Perth Scorchers also bowled, especially Berendorf bowling those slow bounces. Do you think Michael Nessa also should approach the same way as what the Perth Scorchers bowlers did, especially seeing how the pitch behaved?
Yes. Look to pitch it up if there's any swing. If there's no swing, then change your tactics after that. I think for him, it's just about sticking to his plans. Really, don't change too much. Don't overcomplicate things.
Sure.
So pitch it up. If there's a bit of swing, use that. If not, then go to your variations and different lengths and lines. But first ball, good start, dot ball from Nessa. So that's a good start to his over. So hopefully he can get a wicket here. Ooh,
Good swing
just
over there from
wafting
Michael
outside the
Nessa.
off stump there. Eskenazi.
Mm.
Bit of a wide delivery there from Nessa, but in the end, it's a dot ball. And he'll be hoping to pick up a wicket or two here in his early overs here. Nessa, I think for the Brisbane Heat to win, they got to take at least probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 wickets minimum in the power play, I feel, just to put the Scorchers under some sort of pressure. But if the Scorchers get off to a good start, then it's pretty much going to be a tough thing for the Heat to come back if that happens. But let's see.
And a run. Eskenazi getting on the board. Another wide delivery over there from Nessa, pitching it a bit wide over there from Nessa. But Eskenazi gets on the mark. And Scorchers also on the board. So let's see what Bancroft can do towards Nessa. So Nessa coming in. And being unlucky there. Nessa, good bowling over there. Another run from the Scorchers. So good start over here from Michael Nessa, trying to attack and trying to get a wicket as soon as possible, because Brisbane Heat also do know that the Scorchers are really good at chasing. It's not going to be easy for the Heat to obviously get wickets. So obviously getting early wickets will be key for the Brisbane Heat. As Nessa comes again, another wide pitch, but really good fielding over there. Blocks run over there. So just 2 runs so far. Heat at this stage were 12 for 0. So they had a good start. Especially they were unlucky. I mean, when Heat was batting, I think Berendorf was unlucky with those deliveries. But Scorchers, meanwhile, just 2 for 0 after 0.5 overs. So there's 1 delivery left. They need to go 9 and over. And trying to play a scoop shot, really good bowling over there, and not knowing whether to take a run or not, and that could have been a run out opportunity as well. So good bowling overall from Nessa, I would feel this over. Jack, I think he's varied his lengths and probably troubled the batsman a bit over there, especially that last delivery.
Yes, it's been a pretty good start from Nessa, just 3 from it, and a tidy start, which was needed for him and for the Brisbane Heat. The Scorchers, just looking just to get in, get set, not take too many risks early on.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of overs to get in, get set, what the pitch is doing. And then as soon as you're in and set, then you can go and attack and be aggressive. So it's a good start from Nessa, but, Xavier Bartlett, who's coming in now, he's got to back up that pressure. It's about bowling and good partnerships here. So you've got to do it at both ends, not just from one. And it's important for Bartlett to back him up here, because if the Brisbane Heat can get that run rate required up to 10, 12 and over, anything 12 and over is difficult. So if they can put the squeeze on early, we may see some rash shots from the Scorchers, and that could lead about wickets for the Heat. So with every dot ball, it's gold at the moment for the Heat, just to build early pressure. But,
as we speak, also there's another dot ball over there, and Bartlett bowling his first two. Bartlett also has been having a good BBL so far. Let's see though. I think it's really interesting so far from the Scorchers approach, and I think dot deliveries will obviously help the Heat. And let's see how obviously another attack over there, good shot over there, and this could be the first boundary from Eskenazi and a 4. So finally Eskenazi trying to go over a move and a boundary for the Scorchers. So I think that's important for the Scorchers to obviously get going, and that's a good shot from Eskenazi, and that goes for a boundary. Good shot over there. Obviously, they need to take the advantage from the power play. And it was a good shot there from Eskinasi. Good follow-up delivery over there, and gets a run. So 8 for 0 after 1.3 overs. I think Bartlett also had a very good season. I would feel Jack so far in his in BBL. Just a few words about Bartlett as well, Jack.
Yeah, he hasn't had many opportunities this season. But when he's got his opportunity, he's done okay with the ball. It's a good start here from him. Only 5 runs from it. That's not bad, of 3 balls. Yeah, he hasn't had much opportunities over the last few BBL seasons, Bartlett. But when he's got his opportunity, he's always managed to do well, take wickets, and do his bit for the team, which is good to see. But good start from him, and hopefully he can get a few wickets in this power play, because it's been a good start from the Heat. Just applying the pressure on early to the Scorchers here with some dot balls. That run rate's climbing, but no need to panic if you're a Scorchers supporter. Still plenty of time.
True.
But for the Brisbane Heat, it's a good start just to keep them quiet. If you can build up pressure, that can often lead to wickets and batters playing some rash shots. So it's a good start thus far, but they need to keep it up, the Brisbane Heat. This power play will probably determine where this game is going to go, either in favour of the Scorchers or the Brisbane Heat. But we shall see what happens in this power play.
Some really tight bowling over here from Bartlett, and it's a good over there from Bartlett, just 6 runs off it, and Scorchers are 10 for 0 after 2 overs. So it's been a really good start from the Brisbane Heat, not giving much runs, trying to keep it as simple as possible, not giving too many boundaries. As we knew on the other end, Brisbane Heat had a very good start when they faced the first 2 overs from Behrendorff and Hardy, if I'm not mistaken. So good over so far from good 2 overs so far from both these bowlers, Nessa and Bartlett, as I think Nessa is going to bowl his second over. So good start, and this could be a boundary over here from Eskinasi. Yep, and it goes to the boundary. So a good 4 over there. Eskinasi just needs to put the pressure onto the Heat bowlers. I think that's the right approach over there. And Nessa bowled it a bit wide off. A good shot over there. Knew exactly where the gap was. And his stance was really good over there. Eskinasi knew exactly where Nessa pitched it. And again, another pull shot over there, and just 1 run over there. So 15 for 0. So Eskinasi sort of got a start. I think Bancroft hasn't faced much deliveries yet. So let's see how Bancroft can also reply. Yeah. Yeah, so 15 for 0. I think Bancroft just scored 2 runs so far. Let's see what Nessa has on offer to. Oh, being so lucky over there, edged and gone for a 4. Would have nearly hit the stumps. But Bancroft just been lucky over there, Jack. Yes. Did you hear what I said?
You were cutting in and out there. Couldn't make out what you were saying.
Right, I think my internet connection. Yeah, sorry. I was just saying the luck that Bancroft had over there with Nessa's delivery, because that could have hit the stumps over there. we lose Jack here? Or is it? All right, so 2 boundaries of that over. Okay, so 2 fours from this over so far. And sort of a good over there from Perth Scorchers. Just give me a second. I think something wrong with my signal again. It's not good weather here. So Bancroft 10 and Neskin Nasti 13. Jack, could you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's cutting in and out a little bit there.
Yeah. So thoughts on that over from Perth Scorchers, is getting 2 boundaries of that over. Spencer Johnson coming in. Watches. Don't know what's happened to my. Maybe I should log out and come again. Jack, just give me a second.
Yep.
Yeah, I think again okay. Are we okay again? Yeah. Sorry. All right, so Perth Scorchers, that's could be another boundary, and that's a 4. So really doing well right now with Perth Scorchers. 2 fours from the first 3 deliveries. Jack, your thoughts from the over so far from Johnson?
Yeah, it's been an okay over, a boundary there. It's only 6 from it, so at least it's not a big over. But yeah, for the Scorchers, just starting to get into the innings now, just starting to get a few boundaries away and relieving some of the pressure that's been built up by the Brisbane Heat bowlers.
Yeah. So 29 for 0 after 3.3 overs. We have Eskinasti at 19. We have Bancroft at 10. Right now, the Scorchers 29 for 0, having a good start over here in the second innings. And start, I would feel.
Sorry, everyone. We got some technical difficulties. But we hope to resolve them soon.
Could you hear me now, Jack?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's still cutting out a little bit there, but I can hear you.
Yeah, I know. I think the signal is not good because the weather is not that great. Yes, that's what I think. I think that's a bit of a lag. Yeah. Yeah, hope you can hear me though. Yes. 31-0 after 4 overs. The Perth Scorchers. That got so far from this over from the Perth Scorchers, especially the approach of both Eskenazi and Bancroft so far.
Yeah, they're just starting to put a bit of pressure on, just starting to get into the innings and just starting to put some pressure onto the Brisbane Heat after it was a pretty a quiet start for the Scorchers in their innings early on, but been able to get a few boundaries away and get that required run rate down a bit, which is good. It was nearly at nearly 10 now. It's back to 9. So none for 31. I think they'll be pretty happy with that. And a pretty good power play from the Scorchers. No wickets down. The Heat would have loved a couple of wickets, but that hasn't happened. But hopefully they can pick up a wicket or two in this next few overs.
Yeah.
Some technical difficulties again. But the first ball of the over from Beasley was a single.
All right, I'm sorry for that. Can we hear you? Yeah. So that it keep on getting logged out. Yeah. All right, so good bowling, I think, over here from the Perth Scorchers. Oh, is that out? Wow.
No, I think he's safe. I think he made it. It was close, direct hit, but I think he made it Eskenazi. I think he made his ground.
Yeah.
All the players seem...
Yes, both of them were having a good partnership over here, the Scorchers. I hope Bancroft is at home. Is home. That's a good dive there. Oh, they scooped out.
Oh, yes. His bat's on the line. He hasn't grounded. He just casually walked into the crease.
Oh my goodness. What has Bancroft done over here?
That's a pretty good throw. Good awareness.
That's clearly out.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not being aware of the situation and he's just got dismissed. And let me see if Skinner's going out actually for 21. Not good.
Yeah.
It's just being careless. What do you think, Jack? I mean, Skinner's being a bit careless over there when Bancroft was dying.
I think he was just, not really paying attention there. And that brought about his downfall, the wicket. Casually walking into the crease or running into the crease and not really diving or any desperation whatsoever from Eskenazi. And he's lost his wicket. He's gone. That brings Aaron Harding to the crease. And, the Perth Scorchers, they lose their first wicket. And for the Brisbane Heat, just what they needed to get them going in this second innings with the ball.
True, I agree with you, Jack, with what you mentioned over there. And I think Scott is minus spot of over here because we saw Eskenazi taking the lead and now he's got dismissed in an unfashionable way. So let's see how now Hardy and Bancroft can do, because I think Bancroft will have to step up with what really has happened right now. Yeah, it's a bit silly, I would feel, with what happened over there from
some technical problems again. And Beasley,
for a 4.
His delivery to Hardy goes to the boundary at deep mid-wicket for 4. And he's off the mark. It's a short delivery there from Beasley. And Hardy leant back into that and got it away to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. and that will definitely boost his confidence.
Yeah,
Good
4
start
runs over
there.
there. Yes, 4 runs over there from Aaron Hardy. 37 for 1 after 4.4 overs. And again, another beautiful shot over there, but stopped from Bali. Yes, I think we need to take the momentum back. I think Scorchers after losing Eskenazi earlier, Jack.
Yes, I think that would be the important thing, just to build a partnership here for the Scorchers. Obviously, they wouldn't have liked to lose that wicket. A bit careless from Eskenazi, as we've talked about. But yeah, for the Scorchers, just about consolidating now, get a partnership going, and hopefully they can just put the pressure on the Brisbane Heat if they can. But for the Heat, they would have taken that wicket. It's always good to get the first wicket on the board, that's for sure.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think there was a very, very key wicket over there from the Heat getting Eskenazi out earlier. Now it's up to Bancroft and Aaron Hardy to get a crucial partnership. Yeah, so I think both the teams were in the same position, I would say. After 5 overs, it's not a huge difference between the Scorchers and the Heat. So let's just see what happens to the Scorchers. Cannot afford to lose another wicket, right, Jack, at the moment?
No, they can't. If they lose another couple of wickets here, then the Brisbane Heat will be feeling like they're right back into this match. But yeah, the game is evenly poised at the moment. So it could go either way. A couple of big overs here. We're probably swinging in the Scorchers' favour. A couple of good overs with the ball from the Heat. It could go into their favour. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of overs here as this final gets towards its conclusion.
Yeah, but it's another chance. I think he had a very good first over. The Heat, Scorchers are 1 for 37 after 5 overs. Bartlett coming once again. A good ball over there from Bartlett, hitting towards the pads. A good bowling over there, straight line delivery over there, and a good start over there from Bartlett, really stepping up in the finals. And Bancroft sort of struggling against Bartlett, but a good first delivery over there from Bartlett. The Bartlett has been doing really well today. Let's see what happens. Because this is a really, really interesting game over here. It could go to the wire, as Jack said, for the Scorchers. And here comes Bancroft, just takes a single. Please this face for both the teams right now, guys. I think Heat would want to get more wickets for Scorchers. Obviously, would want a partnership right now, especially after Eskenazi getting a good start and getting dismissed in an unfortunate manner, in a silly manner. So, your thoughts how both the teams will approach, because this is a very crucial phase right now, because I think both of the teams are. All right, sure, Jack. No worries. No worries, Jack. I think yeah, my signal is also sort of stuck. But yeah, thank you so much, Jack, for joining. If you can
Thank you,
hear
pal. Thanks for having me. It's been great, and
yeah,
thanks for having me on. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get you for the India versus Australia test preview. That's what I would want to do hopefully on Monday, because we want to give an overview of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which is starting on the Thursday, the 9th February. And we want everything that's happening, because it's really crucial for the World Test Championships and more than the Big Bash League. I think India versus Australia main focus for February. So hopefully we can get you on board for the preview of the India versus Australia Test series.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll be happy to come on and talk about that series, which only starts next week. So looking forward to it, and yeah, it's going to be an exciting series, that's for sure.
Yeah. So as we complete the power play, a good shot over there from Aaron Hardy, and oh, nearly got caught over there. A valiant effort over there, but a drop catch over there in the deep. So I think that was Michael Ness over there, but yes, that was a drop.
Oh, yes, it was a drop catch from Michael Nessa. Just boggled out of the hands. Yeah, Xavier Bartlett hands on his head. Disappointing after that drop catch. You don't mean a drop catch. And a single to finish the over from the Scorchers. 1 for 43 after 6. And going about things in a calm manner, looking to get a few more runs in this run chase, looking to chase down the turtle and hopefully win their second. Sorry, not their second. I think their 5th BBL title in this run chase. Got a few technical difficulties with power, but we hope to rectify that. Scorchers 1 for 43. 6 overs are done. Hardy's on 9. Bancroft on 13. Kuhnemann into the attack. The left arm spinner. Into the attack now. He bowls to Hardy, who drives through the covers. Fielder in the deep will cut it off for a single.
Yes.
Good start from Kuhnemann there.
That came back. Yeah, so good power play overall from the Scorchers, I would feel, but it's pretty even. I would feel 50-50 right now, Jack. I would feel for both the Scorchers and the Heat right now.
Yeah, it's poised. It's evenly poised. Both teams are just waiting for something to happen. Who will blink first in this final? But it's been an evenly poised start to this match. In this run chase, I should say, as Kuhnemann bowls to Hardy, who works it for a square leg for a single. It's on to 11. Bancroft on 14.
I think this partnership is really, really key between Hardy and Bancroft. They need to go at around 9 or 10 runs over. So this partnership is really key, I would feel, for the Scorchers, and they need to attack. When they get loose balls, but rotating the strike is key, as what the Brisbane Heat did between Sweeney and yeah. So yeah, so right now 47 for 1 after 6.4 overs. Kuhnemann bowling another single over there. 9.72 runs over, not going to be easy, Jack. I think probably they'll have to do the approach what Brisbane Heat did. Probably last 5 overs go for around 55-60 runs over. So your thoughts right now, what the Scorchers can do right now?
Yeah, I think that run rate's climbing. It's 9.7 now, so you don't want to get that over double digits. That's a good shot from Bancroft. Has he got enough on that? No, he hasn't. He's out caught by Michael Nesta on the rope. That's a big wicket there. Bancroft's got to go. And that's a perfect way to win the over from Kuhnemann. He went for the big shot down the ground, Bancroft, and unfortunately hit it straight down Michael Nesta's throat at long off. Right back on that boundary rope there. And very good catch. Took it easily in the end. Scorchers lose their second. Bancroft got to go for 15. It's 2:48 after 7. Yeah, that wicket's put them back a little bit now. Pretty much you got Inglis coming in as the new batter. So for the Scorchers, I think it's just a rebuild partnership is the order of the day. For the Brisbane Heat, keep taking wickets, because I think the only way they're going to win is by taking wickets at regular intervals, and that's what they're starting to do here with a couple of wickets here. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how both teams approach it. But, the Perth Scorchers have still got some good batters in the shed. Josh Inglis can definitely do damage with the bat. He's played for Australia in T20 cricket, so he knows what he's doing. And he's had a pretty good BBL season. So Aaron Hardy's batted pretty well as well. So, this partnership for the Scorchers is important. Rebuild after that wicket of Bancroft. And for the Brisbane Heat, they've got to keep taking wickets to put Scorchers under pressure if they are going to win this match. Spencer Johnson in to the attack. He's up. And he bowls to Hardy, who gets it inside edge. Past the keeper, down to the boundary for 4. I think a bit of pad, maybe a bit of bat. I think that was a bit of bat that he got there. And the 50 up for the Scorchers. Let's have a look. Yeah, inside edge onto the pad there, I think. Then it just went to the third fine leg boundary there. Yeah, inside edge there from Hardy.
A bit of luck over there from Josh Inglis over there. I think luck is rated right now for the Scorchers.
Yes, it's definitely climbing this required run rate for the Scorchers. Every dot ball, every dot ball they face, it's definitely climbing. For the Brisbane Heat, they would like to bowl tight lines and keep the pressure on the Scorchers, really. If they can do that, get that required run rate up to 10, 11, 12, then it will be a difficult task from there. But it's poised. It can go either way. A couple of big overs here from the Scorchers could change things. 123 off 75. A couple of big overs. You never know. Brisbane Heat, couple of wickets. They're in the box seat. They can get them 4 down or 5 down. But definitely the partnership, Hardy and Inglis, this partnership's crucial. If the Scorchers are going to chase these runs down, give them the opportunity. Johnson bowls this one full, driven to mid-off for a quick single. Inglis off the mark. 2 balls left. Off the 8th over. 122 required off 74 balls. Required run rate touching 9s. 9.89 runs per over. At this stage, the Brisbane Heat were 1 for 60. The Perth Scorchers are 2 for 54. Johnson in. This one short and pulled by Inglis. Pulled by Hart to the fielder, who takes the catch at backward square leg, deep backward square leg. That's the end of Hardy. He's gone for 17. The Scorchers lose their third. And the Brisbane Heat, well, they're in the box seat to win this game now. That's a very good catch from Heslett. For a moment there, I thought it didn't carry to him. I thought it bounced, but it didn't. It carried on the full. And a big wicket for the Heat. That's a very big wicket. He's been batting well, Hardy. He's got to go for 17. It's 3 for 54 for the Scorchers. And I assume that Ashton Turner will be coming out to the middle, the captain, and he'll be hoping to rescue his team again.
I think they're in a spot of bother right now.
Well, they definitely are. And it's not ideal for them to lose a wicket at this stage. So Ashton Turner will face this last ball of this 8th over. He's been batting really well. If the Brisbane Heat can get him out, then I think they're in a good position to win this match, because he has been the informed batter for the Perth Scorchers over the last few games, especially this BBL season. He's been scoring runs at will. Here we go. Johnson, last ball of his 2nd over. In to Turner. This one short. Turner ducks. Lets it through to the keeper for a dot ball. Set of the over. 3 for 54 after 8. 122 of 72 for the Perth Scorchers required for them to win, and to win back-to-back BBL titles. But thank you, Powen, for having me on. I'm going to head off, but thanks for having me, Powen, and it's been a pleasure as always. And thanks for having me, and hope to come back soon onto the Sports Breakdown.
Yeah, sure, no worries. Thank you so much for covering and coming as invited. I think I told in the last week itself for you to join. So thank you so much for joining, and yeah, hope to see you very soon on my channel again.
Thank you, Powen. It's always a pleasure coming on. So hope to speak soon, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Jack. Yeah, once again. Really
take care.
Goodbye, Jack. So I think Jack covered most of it. So I'm really sorry for me also having a lot of internet connection issues, guys. Guys, could you hear me? I don't think anyone's watching right now. This BBL final. So I think I covered what I can, guys. I think no one's watching it also right now. So I think I'll end it over here, guys. Brisbane Heat are making a brilliant comeback. So let's see what happens, guys. I think I'll end it over here, guys. So please do subscribe the Sports Breakdown. Please like, comment, and share on this video. There's no point continuing when there's 0 people watching. Let's see if I can get my Facebook page back, the public I was working with. So hopefully you can get that back. I don't think there's anyone viewing, so no point actually continuing. I was just waiting until Jack covers it for me. I appreciate him being here all this time, and hopefully we can bring him again very soon for another video. So thank you so much, guys. I think no one's watching it right now, just 2 viewers. It's not been a great viewership over here for the Big Bash League. So yeah, guys, I think I'll head off, and hopefully may the best team win. And thank you so much.